Good evening, Brian.
Good evening, good day
I
over
guess, yeah,
here.
whatever it is, whatever time of the day it is over there, it's tomorrow already. So,
Yep.
um,
It's lunchtime for me.
oh, fair enough. I haven't even eaten supper yet.
I'll take a
So,
break in a minute and be back.
fair enough. Yeah. Well, it was, we were trying to start this at lunch, but then by the time Jace got here, it was supper. So, there's that. And by the time we finish, it'll be probably bedtime for Brian. So, we have a big show today. We'll keep the format though. We'll get through all the things. If you didn't catch the intro screen, that's what we're talking about there. Full of surprises, discussing the Ministravaganza and just basically describing it as wow for all things. There was many things shared, lots of hot takes, lots of internet reaction, some overreaction, some catastrophization, and some perhaps underreactions in terms of maybe the strength of some of the units. So we'll get into all of those things. We have 20 people watching with us tonight. If we hit the magic 50, because maybe we can, it's a big show. Maybe lots of people will join in. We'll do a little giveaway tonight, and I'll talk a little bit about what that might look like. So, but we got a new item, and we'll kind of keep it as kind of a special item for us to be given out. So we'll kind of hit some thresholds. So we have that. So Brian, we got last week in Legion. We'll get into that. You and I. We also have a few other people on the cast tonight. They can say hello. They're in audio version currently, but we've got Pally. Pally, you want to give us a hello?
Hey yo,
And Jace is also in studio with me, just on the other side, so he's just waving
I'm
his.
back.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So there he is. So was allowed out this evening. So he was just late getting here, so I had to finish his chores and homework before he was allowed to come over. So got lots of people in chat. So before we get in, let me not forget who we have in here. I got Tom Walker coming in first place today. We got Frizzle Dizzle joining us. We got Bernard checking in. Ryan's checking in. We got Jacob, Dan from Down Under. We have Sean Death checking in. Who else we got? Striker checking in, Crowder Canuck checking in, Jacob checking in. Let me keep going down here. We got J Rod checking in, Anthony checking in, Michael checking in, and Stan checking in. Oh, there's 48th Ronin checking in. So we have all kinds of folks checking in, a lot of regulars in here. So welcome everyone. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We'll get into all the things. We of course have our stock standard roll through of all our social medias and the giveaways and the perks and the whatever we do for each week before we get going here. And then we have many shows. I think yesterday I took about 4.5 hours to prep for the show. So hopefully you guys enjoy the look. I did a bunch of new looks, and see my dog is chiming in upstairs and on my wife to help out, but you'll have to deal with that while I'm just chatting. So we'll do all that. We'll get into the new look, and we'll talk about all the new things. There is many things to get into. So, all right, let's just jump over. Bryant, let's get into our last week in Legion. I'll let the guys do this as well, but what was your last week in Legion like? What'd you do?
My last week in Legion was pretty boring, to be honest.
Okay,
It
moving
was
on.
mainly just watching. It was mainly just checking out the Ministravaganza stuff, keeping on top of those things, and lots of game chat with a couple of the game groups, a couple of our local game groups, and discussions on what's good, what's not. And I did not get to play any Legion, unfortunately.
Okay.
Work, and a daughter's sports carnival sort of
right.
sucked all the spare time out of it. So
netball, right? Is that right?
Netball.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
I actually saw some netball on TV,
netball.
and I was like, oh, that's what he was talking about. So such a futuristic game. So yeah, very interesting. So we'll have to talk about netball sometime for sure. So, Pally, what was your week in Legion like last week?
watching all of the streams on repeat.
Okay, good. Pally did a lot of work for us in the street, so he spent a considerable amount of time indoors. I think he was milking it a little bit when he had to watch the playthrough 3 times, but he got lots of good notes for us. So
Yes. How to play professionally, Pally.
yeah.
Watch the AMG stream.
Yeah.
Let me go.
TC straight up the middle. That's where he gets it from.
I need to go see a doctor about the aneurysm I got, but that's fine.
It's their first. It was the first time with many of those units, so we got to give them a pass apparently. So, Jace, how about your weekend Legion? What'd you do? Jace and I even played some games actually.
Yeah, so me and Shawn played 2 skirmish games. Which took us about an hour and a half.
Yep, start to finish, both games. Played full 5 turns.
Yep, full 5 turns. Played the same 2 lists, just swap sides.
Yep,
the
Rebels.
same list won both games.
Yep, Rebels OP.
So,
yeah.
To be fair, Son of Skywalker Luke into an ATST in skirmish is pretty strong.
Very strong. Yep, for sure.
But besides that, I did not actually watch any of the AMG streams. I just
It's just here for the hot takes.
No, I just read what everybody else wrote about it.
I was just about to say, you're one of those guys that just sits there, doesn't read the article, but reads the comments.
I just waited for Canadian
Makes his
Bear
own
and Pally
opinion.
and all them to just be like, they said this, and I'll be like, oh, that's cool.
Yep. That'll be what a lot of people will be doing. But we're going to give our take. Of course, there's 100 other podcasts and 100 other people doing the same thing we're doing. So we're no better or worse. We're just going to do it in a different way, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. So my last week in Legion was I played a lot. I played against Jace, like I said. We did a couple skirmish games there on the weekend, and played a game of Lord of the Rings. We're going to play a game of Lord of the Rings tomorrow as well. And then I also played 2 league games. Lost one, won one. Played Force users in both. And I don't match up very well against Force users right now with no melee units. But I took my knowledge from the first one and applied it to the second one with better results. So I am 2-1 in my league round, and I have Michael left to play. So our group is 5 players, and I think all of us have played pretty much everyone. I think we're all maybe down to our last game at this point. So our group's cruising through pretty good, and we'll be bringing up the vote for the round 5 coming up here, and we'll be swapping over to round 5 at the end of the month. So we're fast approaching that, and it'll be a ban on supports, which means no spiders, basically. So looking forward to that. So maybe not as much as other people, but apparently that is what's happening. So I have no control over this. Better maps too. Better maps. Complaining about the maps quite a bit. So no, Brendan did a good job collecting them. It's just they're tough. They're tough. So Force users are having their way this league round, but I digress on that. So
I mean, that's kind of what happens though when you take away IRG.
When you take away every melee unit, right? No Wookiees in Gar. IRG. Well, IRG are in actually because because the special forces are out, but there's still not a lot of people taking IRG. But when you take away Magnas, that is a Jedi tar pit that we do not have access to. But there's that. So
Shawn, you just got to go back to the old-fashioned way. B1 bodies.
Yeah, B1 bodies, exactly. Just all the B1 bodies. So
just sacrifice 6 out of your 10 units in your army and win with the other 4.
Yeah, well, I'm going to play I should talk about that briefly too. Michael is actually coming up to the studio at the end of the month, so I think we're on the 27th, the Wednesday through Sunday, and we're going to be playing and hosting a bunch of games. I think we're going to probably broadcast 3 nights consecutive, so if you guys don't get sick of us on a Friday, we'll look for us on a few other nights. And right now on the Discord, you're able to submit lists. You can tag who you like to play them. I think mine is hashtag Studio Bully, and Michael is, I think, hashtag CIS Wizard. So if you guys put the hashtag in, that's the list. We're going to pick or do a vote, and then we're going to play those lists. I submitted one for myself. There's Michael throwing in the Discord link. I threw one in for myself. It's a 17 activation rebel list. Seems pretty strong, especially in like key positions and breakthrough. So I said I'm going to beat Michael 13-1 in breakthrough using that list. So I'm going to go for that as well. So yeah, if you guys want to get in on that vote, you guys can just go to the Discord, throw those in, and should have a good time. So probably get Jason and Anthony over as well to get some games in against Michael. So yeah, so look for that. So that'll be happening, like I said, end of the month. We'll give you guys lots of leadway on that. So awesome. All right, let's jump over one more screen. Perfect. We'll bring Pally in. He's still busy working, probably watching the AMG stream once more. Just making sure he's brushing up on all that skills and learning how to play the game. Yeah, we have a ton to cover tonight, folks. So we still have some stuff to get through here. But just so you guys know, we're going to go through Mando, Grogu, Boba Fett, IG-11, IG-88, the Ewoks, the Dark Troopers, Moff Gideon, Ahsoka, Asajj, the Endor Battle Force, the Tempest Battle Force. We'll talk a little bit about the release schedule, and then we'll do roundtable at the end. So we don't want to spend a ton of time in on these units. You guys can consume the information. We have visuals for everything. So we'll give a little bit of conversation, but we'll probably save a lot of it for the end. Like I said, this is probably one of the better roundtable, discussion topics, but we will spend some time talking about them. How the format's going to work is I'm going to basically be reading you guys what's on the screen or showing you what we have, and then I'll leave it up to Bryant, Pally, and Jace to kind of give us their reactionary opinions, comments, hot takes, etc. But then we'll really get into the discussion when we get you guys in at the end. So look for all that to be occurring. So let's jump through a few things here, though. Housekeeping stuff. Bryant, how do people find us if they haven't already?
Well, we can go to Star Wars Legion Friday Night Fights for Facebook to see when we're on, when we're what we've got coming up, and then recaps. We've got our Patreon, patreon.com, TheTerrainStudio. You can catch a whole lot of back issues and current issues on what Shawn's doing in studio, and past projects like the Kashyyyk table, and just some general hobby tips. There is 15, I think it's 15 slots left on the
card sleeves.
On the card sleeve, the card sleeve Patreon level. So by all means jump in if you are looking for some of those perks, some of those physical perks to come out your way. Then jump on in on that level. You can catch us on Twitter and on Instagram at Legion_FNF.
You bet. Yeah, we got all the medias. So just on the topic of the card sleeves, just letting you know they have arrived. Just kind of explaining why we didn't want to maintain a store. I really just don't want to get into that. But so there won't always be physical perks on the Patreon tier, but this is how it kind of breaks down. The $5 tier, the second tier, gets you all the videos that ever are going to be made and ever have been made. And then the next level up, the reason that it's at the $15 tier is it actually secures you 1 hour a month, and you can bank those hours if you don't need them for project consultations. So just in the interest that I can only have so many places and I can only do so many hours in a month, basically if I have all the slots filled, it's like 30 hours in a month that I might be doing consult calls. So that is the reason that you get that. But what I decided to do is add an extra perk to those levels every so often. So what I've done for the last 2 months, if you're a patron for the 2 months, you have the card sleeves. This is actually what the card sleeves look like. This is the physical ones. They have arrived. I actually have them here in studio. Jace just got his set tonight, and that is what they look like right there. So that is I know it's not super focused there, but we can do some better photos. But that is our condition and the deployment and the mission. So the cards coincide with that. If your name is on the screen, that means you are at the tier 3 and or we're a Dallas open contributor. So these are all the people that will be having their items shipped out. I will hit you on Patreon to make sure I have your address. As I said, there's 15 spots left. So if you join in the month of July and you remain into August, that means in August your item will be shipping. We only have 15 sets left. When they are gone, they're gone. Everyone obviously on the studio crew is getting their set. They don't have to join that, although some of them do support, which I greatly appreciate as well. And then we also kept, I think, 5 sets for giveaways going forward. So we will have some that you do not have to do anything, and you can just take your chance and get them. But if you want to join, you can go ahead and do that. They are really cool. I think they turned out really, really awesome. They look good, they feel good, and they are edge to edge. So there's no white edge on these ones. So they go right over. And again, they coincide with the color. So there you go. So it matches up pretty nice. So I think
really
they turned out all right. So we'll be doing other things at that level as well. Like I said, we're just going to do those periodically. So sometimes we won't have a perk associated with that, but you still get all the access to all the stuff you ever did before, including that consult as well as the videos. So talking about our sponsors, and want to thank people for the studio helping us run it. Deep Cut Studios, a huge contributor for us for our Friday night fights, obviously with the gaming match contributions. So you guys see those each and every week, as well as LegionTerrain.com. We've been using a ton of their stuff. We brought some stuff to the gaming store from Deep Cut, but we've always have either Legion Terrain and or Deep Cut on the table, and really, really appreciate that. Where do you see that stuff? Well, each and every week, Friday night fights, obviously. We're here. Sometimes we take a break off. We try to give you guys advance notice, but we are back this week. So come join us for that. It'll be around 8:30 CST, give or take. Depending on when Jace arrives.
You bet.
We'll be rocking another episode of that. And if you guys want to follow the Patreon project, so in addition to the perks and the videos, I am working currently on the new studio set. So this is what it's looking like right now. I got all the bullet holes finished. Just working on the paint right now to get them kind of looking more bullet-like. So adding that three-dimensional aspect, adding in the grit and the grime to make them look like they're actual chunks of concrete. And then if you want to bear with me for about a minute, I actually uploaded a second Patreon tutorial this month. I do a trailer each and every Patreon tutorial just so people can breeze through it before they watch the 30 to 40 minute video. And this is what it looks like. Have a look. All right, and there you have it. One more tutorial. So I thought I'd get a great quote in there for my wife, who as I said, I showed her the photo, and she just said it looked like mold. So I was going for bullet holes, but I'll settle for, slightly death-inducing black mold. So it's fine.
That's one way to get her to clean the wall.
It kind of worries me.
What's that it looks like black mold, or that it potentially could be?
What sort of black mold do you guys get over there?
Oh, you don't want to know.
That's hardcore mold.
Yeah. I have Jace actually positioned slightly closer to the wall tonight, just as an experiment, whether it is or isn't. So I'll have slight advance notice. So
I may or may not be radioactive right now.
Evan
Jason's
asking,
like carrying the canary in a mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Jace goes down, you're out.
Yep, I'll drop seconds later. So Evan pointing out that what has Jace done to the wall? His destruction knows no bounds. Thank you, Donnie. I appreciate that. So my mold skills are excellent. So if you guys want to know how to do mold, there's also a tutorial on how you can do that as well. So if you guys want to make maybe your home improvement projects, or maybe insurance jobs, if you're trying to get that insurance money. So I'm just kidding. Don't take that advice. But yeah, so that's there.
As a chef,
again,
I can teach you how to make green mold as well, and white mold.
That's fair. My color palette knows no bounds. So yeah, that's what's happening for the actual Patreon content, by the way. So yeah, working on that. I have to work on the above the door has kind of this sort of grate that needs to go up there. Then I'm going to be building a few other adornments, and then I'll be working on a few other things, and then pretty much the wall's going to be done. Then it's on to the gonk droid, so we gotta have that full-size gonk droid to hold Jace's snacks. So that is actually most excited about that. So let's do a few more things before we get into league update. As I said, it's round 4 is basically on the home stretch now, wrapping up. So if you guys want to join the league, just hit our Discord up, or hit anybody up who is in the chat. We can get you connected there. Come join us. Round 5 signups we find. You can sign up at any point. You can start in the league at any point. It's going to run through 6 rounds, and then we're just going to loop it all again, reset the points, and do it all over again. So if you want to jump in just at the tail end to get some reps, and then try to go full force for the second season of it, feel free. So looking forward to that. Also want to point out we got Dice Time, our affiliated podcast. They've uploaded some new episodes. I have to get them onto the YouTube channel. I'm lackadaisical in that, but they have them up on the audio versions, so you can go listen to them on Podbean or any of those associated cast. They have a different take on Legion, and it's great to listen to Ben and Paul talk about that. I have invited them to come back and do some shows with us as well. So look for that. As well, we want to thank Michael.
I have them ready to upload.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I have them ready to upload, and they should be there in the next day or two.
Perfect. There we go. So look, Brian's stepping up where I'm falling behind. So tellmetheodds.net. Of course, Michael has got the dice odds there. I asked him to do some calculations on whistling birds because it seems like it's pretty strong. So we'll talk a little bit about that in the upcoming screens here. So, and then last but not least, let's not forget Pally from the streets, who's finally back in the streets, or home from the streets. I'm not sure which it is exactly, but oh, fair enough. Jace just ran into the microphone. If you guys just heard that. Oh, that's fantastic. First day. So we'll be giving microphone lessons on the Patreon as well. Do a tutorial on that. So, yep. As long as he doesn't lose an eye, we'll be fine.
Kids or pets.
Awesome. So, Pally, Ministravaganza happened. You were not physically there, but you felt like you were there for the amount of time.
Might as well have been.
Fair enough. We do appreciate the work that you put in. So not enough shout-outs goes to the people behind the scenes, but we'll give Pally one for sure. I also gave a message over to Tony, who did all the camera work for them this weekend, or a majority of the camera work, I think. So again, the behind-the-scenes guys need to get that praise as well. So Pally was very busy. Watching many of the Ministravaganza sessions, and did some great reporting for us all 3 days, Thursday through Saturday. Got all the sessions, watched them multiple times. We may not have captured everything, so don't criticize if we've missed something. We've probably either left it out or felt there wasn't that much to talk about, so chose not to put it in. But I think we got a pretty well-rounded episode here for you in terms of covering the majority of the stuff. So let's get into that right now. So slightly different look this week. I worked on some screens just to give a different appearance, so let us know what you think about that. Of course, we do appreciate the feedback on that. But like I said, how it's going to work, I'm going to kind of read what we have, and then we'll get into the discussion here. So the guys have their show notes. I'm not sure if they've all got it accessed up, but let's get into it. So I think we got to kick this off with a soundbite.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
That sounds like me every single time I take my dogs out to pee in the winter. So one likes to spend more time outside than the other. So, all right. So obviously we have Din Djarin, great release. I think this is fantastic. We all knew he was coming and are super excited to now have cards and all the content. So I see Ryan. I'm not even going to glance at that because I caught the couple words, and already with the garbage hot take down there, I don't even want to read the full comment at this point. So Ryan, You'll get your you'll get your time. So Din Djarin, who's on here, 105 points, guys, absolute steal. I don't think that's going to be the final point total, but that's a good start. He has many upgrades, as you guys see them there. Can go in both Empire and Rebels. Obviously has Arsenal 2 Bounty, so first example of that for Rebels, which is great. Impervious, independent aim and dodge, making a note there of the word, connecting the two. Tactical 1, obviously is an operative with 5 health, 3 courage, surges up to crit, down to block, speed 2. He's a vibro knife for the melee attack with 2 black, lethal 1. Din's modified IB94 pistol, range 1 to 2, 2 red, 1 black, decent. Lethal 1, long shot 1, and versatile. We'll hold there and not get into Grogu just now, but what are you guys thinking about this at first blush? Doesn't matter the order. Take it away. Anyone wants to go? And go ahead.
I'm such as a rebel, I'm such a fan.
He's a Mandalorian Cassian is what he is.
Yeah, I can't wait. Number 1, Bounty, fantastic. About time. I can understand why we haven't had a Bounty for so
You got
long.
secret mission. You don't need Bounty.
But yeah, exactly. We have secret mission, but we've got one point for secret mission and Bounty out there. You can get a couple. So leveling the playing field out a little bit is good, and I like that that he's an operative. So you still can't get more than 2 extra VPs from secret mission and bounty. So that sort of levels the playing field. Impervious, Impervious is kind of obvious with his Beskar armor. Independent aim and dodge, which is
Very strong.
He's just always
Basically
he's
quick thinking for
always
free.
going to be ready.
Yeah, that's a good point. Quick thinking for free if you don't want to order him. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Stock
exactly.
standard. I think the
and
health
then tactical.
pool. Yeah.
And then tactical. And having, I agree with a 5 health pool, but he's got surge to crit and surge to dodge, red defense dice. He's
standard Mandalorian character.
I'm gonna be loving sending Din and Sabine in lists. That's just gonna be my flavor.
I think it's interesting, and I'll just put this out here just to maybe flavor some conversation, but I have heard lots of people say 5 health, that can die. He's weak. If he gets shot, he's going to die. And then I hear other people say 5 health, surge, independent aim, dodge. What a healthy character. It's just a matter of perspective, and I think that a lot of that's flavored based on your experience of what has happened to your your named characters. So I don't take a lot, so I don't really have a lot of experience there, but it is kind of interesting to hear people's take on what exactly 5 health is. Is that big with the the extra modifiers, or is that just potentially I guess extra flavoring to an otherwise vulnerable unit based on the fact that it's going to be up close, he's going to be a target, he's going to be obviously a priority target, and may eat a lot of shots. So yeah, interesting take there. So what do you think, Paladin?
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe to shade this a little bit, there's a pretty hefty difference between a 5 health unit at 100 points and a 5 health unit at 200 points. So dice are going to be dice, but the different, like 5 health on this or Rex or Sabine is fine. 5 health on Yoda or Palpatine suddenly feels like not a lot, because it's a lot. It's literally 100% more of your list.
Right.
That's taking up. So that's probably where that feeling's coming from. Now, as for Din himself, I was really looking at like Din and Imperial Boba Fett as a close range brawly team, but right before Brian here said it, I got that little tick in my brain, and I looked at Sabine, and I was like, ooh, this could be interesting.
Right.
So
forget about that. Just Din op Luke.
Okay, that's a great way to go if you don't.
Come on,
like
we got to be so
friends.
accurate here, guys. Keep on theme.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't like other things for points, there's all the eggs in one basket. So
that's the only way Rebels play.
Fair.
Well, if you just think about it in the future, if you've got Sabine coming up in future series, then you're gonna have Din and Sabine is going to be thematic, isn't it?
Well, maybe you get a Din Sabine teamwork. Who knows? So, who knows?
Yeah. Din, Sabine, and Clan Ren for me is gonna be an awesome trio.
This
spicy Mando ball.
This profile
they just can't get killed.
Yeah. It's got everything you can want on it. It's got defense, it's got offense, it gives you options for all of the aim tokens it's giving you. You can use them to reroll if you blank out, but realistically you're just doing fun stuff with it. And so many upgrades. There's not really a whole lot more that you can want out of this card.
Right. No, agreed. And we'll press on. We'll definitely recycle and probably have this conversation many times. So in a roundtable. So I'll keep pressing us through it. I don't mean to like shortchange anyone on that. We'll get through a few of the command cards because I think that will also help flavor the conversation. But before we do that, let's not forget this little small guy in the corner. Even though he doesn't count for a lot of things, he does count on the screen right now. So Grogu, the child, counterpart. He has 1 health, by the way, as well. Counterpart Din Djarin, hunted. So when Grogu is defeated, replace his mini with an unclaimed the asset objective token, and Grogu may never be restored, so no healing back. Each trooper unit gains action claim the asset, and then at the end of the game, if the enemy has claimed the asset objective token, that unit's controlling player gains 1 victory token. It also has latent power. At the end of your activation, you may gain 1 suppression, to roll 1 defense dice. This is a red defense dice. On a surge result, each enemy, the chosen enemy unit at range 1 of the mini will gain 2 suppression and 2 immobilized tokens. On a blank result, remove a wound or a poison token from a friendly non-droid trooper unit at range 1 of the mini. So you have basically a couple 50-50 chance here of doing something, and then less of a chance of doing the better of the two, I guess, if you deem the 2 suppression, 2 immobilize as the better, and then less of a chance to potentially remove a poison token or a wound. So it also has the small keyword as well, as mentioned. So I think we'll kind of go around really briefly and just sort of talk about Grogu and what you think. There's a lot of talk about whether he's a liability in the sense, and whether latent power is worth the points. He's 17 points, by the way, to bring.
Which is the most awkward amount of points that we have seen for a character yet.
Yeah, fair enough. 17 is my favorite number, so I do appreciate that. That is in there. So just unrelated number. But all right, go ahead, Jace. What do you think? 17 points. Is he worth it? What do you think about Grogu?
Taking into consideration just the base card, no.
Okay.
If he comes with something else, like if he comes with a command card, like ID 10 does, then potentially. But it depends on what the card does.
Okay, fair enough. What do you got, Bryant?
I like it because I think it's fun. Adds a little bit of you can use him as bait, and which is sad. But you can use him as bait, but you can still get something out of it. So it is a 50-50 whether it's going to be a liability or not. But you get something out of it and adds a bit of flavor to the game.
Okay, Pally, where are you at?
This card irritates the heck out of me.
Okay. Triggered.
There's latent power is interesting. I think latent power is potentially with the 1 HP is 17 points interesting until you look at Hunted, where the only person who can get a victory point out of that, as currently written, is your opponent.
Yep.
The other thing, A&G said that Grogu is Rebels only. And if everybody here wants to take a look at Grogu's card, what part of this card would suggest that it's Rebels only?
Yeah.
So,
did they miss something?
If you watch the stream, if there's a note in the RRG that says it, that's fantastic. But if you don't really pay attention to all that, you pick up the Mandalorian and the Baby Yoda box because it's cool. You see Mando's a mercenary. Awesome. He can go in these 2 factions. Grogu's also a mercenary. Awesome. He can go in these 2 factions. Oh, but wait. Then you get to your local game store and suddenly somebody's telling you that Grogu doesn't go on Empire. There's nothing on the card that says that.
Right.
So it's gonna... They have a Rebel template they could have used. They used it for 3PO.
Yep.
I understand why maybe they wanted to go with the mercenary one so that it wouldn't look like it wouldn't clash with Mando's, I guess. But put some text on the card that says Rebel only.
Right.
Just give him the little Rebel slot right above his 1.
Yeah.
We have a space for that. So again, maybe a miss. But
either
might be a pre-test card or something.
Yeah.
Maybe. Again, either AMG misspoke. Oh, we'll talk about pre-test cards here with Swoops later. But either they misspoke and he can go on Empire, or this is a pre-test card and it should have a marking, or it's just going to be left as is and people are going to have to read exterior sources for information.
Right. Might fall in the category. I don't think Grogu's worth taking at all. I don't think that I want to have a VP on the table that I can give to my opponent. I don't think latent power is that strong, and I may be in the minority there, but I just think that for 17 points, if I'm looking to have that potential for heal, I'll take medics. The reality of this is like rolling. The heal is not that much different than over the course of the odds, over the course of the game. I can have medics. They're automatic. In fact, the heal bubble is larger with a medic unit. If you want to if you're going for the immobilized suppression potential, I think there's other things that can deal out suppression with regularity. but for me, not worth it. And mostly because I don't think the hunted keyword like Pally is something that I want to have in my list. And I don't think latent power is that strong, and it's certainly not enticing me at 17 points to take that risk. So that is just me. We'll get into all the hot takes after, but that is kind of where we're all settling out. So,
and in regards to command cards, I believe there is one for
Right.
Grogu, but we'll get into that here in a bit.
Yeah, well, it's not. I didn't actually do the overlay for that because it wasn't really
Well,
something that was full mentioned. But if you want to go ahead and do that one before I get into the Mando ones, go ahead, Pally.
Okay. We know that there is a fourth command card called the Hand Thing.
So probably a Grogu card.
And yeah, it's probably a Grogu card. And they didn't tell us what it does, but there was a moment during the game, which take with a grain of salt, I guess, because they were fantastic at knowing what they were doing. I'll stop harping on them. But there was a moment where a unit of rebels effectively got wiped, and it was made mention that if they were in range of Mando, then the Hand Thing could have been used in some way to help with that situation.
Right.
Which leads to the thought that it might be a reactionary card.
Right. 48 thrown in suggesting something around 2 dodges and deflect. But again, because we didn't really have any hard sort of either reference directly to it and or image of it, we chose not to put that one in. But so to be determined as to what the actual effect is for Grogu. So some things we do have. Some things we do have are the upgrades, and we'll do the upgrades first, and we'll get into the command cards. But again, just briefly going over this, we have Din's Flame Projector. So it's a melee / range 1 red dice here, so very similar to Boba Fett's projector. But it has red dice, blast, spray, and suppressive.
And is supposed to have expend.
Yeah, that was just another little slight typo, but supposed to have expend, so don't anticipate that you're going to have this every round. I believe it was said on stream that it's supposed to have expend. And so for 8 points, maybe that's where we'll pick up the conversation. 8 points, what do you guys think about this in terms of take for an upgrade?
I think it's the equivalent of a melee version of jetpack rockets.
Yep.
It's I love it. Although I don't take jetpack rockets on Mandos, and I think it would be something that would be subject to points available. But I love the idea of it. It's a really up close weapon for me. Expendable. If you're adding it in with, you've got Arsenal 2 plus this, adding that into one, you can wipe out a unit. Like,
I feel it's pretty good. And again, this is just another way if you want to spend 8 points to get that one turn of suppressive that you guarantee and don't have to do a dice roll. You take out, like, that is pretty much what the odds are of rolling Grogu's one time where he is suppressive in the entire game. 1 out of 6. This is a 1 out of 6, but it's a guaranteed at the moment that you need it for half the points.
Yep.
It's basically just Boba's 2-pip as an upgrade card, like it should have been.
Yeah, but not taking an upgrade. Not taking a command spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you can combine this with his regular attack to get lethal on it too, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to combine this and get long shot on this?
No.
No.
Long shot applies to the weapon.
Yeah,
It's
a weapon.
right. It's on the weapon. Is correct. Yeah. He doesn't have that as a. That would be.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
But I mean, like you said, it's an excellent one-shot effect. This is the kind of thing you're probably only going to need once with surge conversion and presumably 2 aims plus.
Yeah.
This is likely just going to roll full hits.
Yep, full hits and then hope for your saves. You're not losing any to cover, which is great with the blast. So again, full hits and forcing those saves regardless of what color save they have. So I like that one. What do you guys think about the Mando Jet Pack? For me, it's an auto include, just because
100%.
But it is pricey at 15 points potentially. I mean, that's a 15 point upgrade is on the upper end of upgrades that aren't heavies. But this does increase your maximum speed by 1.
That's the key. That's why.
And then you gain jump 2.
Yep.
So I think if you want to get Mando in where he needs to be to do all the things that you're going to add the other point upgrades for, this is the gatekeeper to getting there to make him efficient.
Yeah, can you? This was going back to my Sabine and Clan Ren. Can you imagine having Sabine, Din, Clan Ren, jump, jump, fast units, just pop over a piece of terrain and go bam! I'm in your face with Darksaber, Din with all of his melee and up close stuff, and then having Clan Ren sitting and plugging things at the end. I just that's me and a T for my sort of
Me and a T. That must be an
style.
Australian. Australian. Just translate. I think that
Me
just
to a
means.
T.
Got it. I think that means it suits his play style. Just for everyone else
That's
who's
it,
not in
that's
the
it.
future
Yep.
or Australian.
Yeah.
I think.
Spot on.
I think that means correct. So I really like where you're going with that, Brian, and for maybe a reason that's not necessarily as inherent. All those melee units without scale have a really hard time getting to all those units that you just mentioned that are on top of buildings. So we've often talked about in the game and playing the game on multiple dimensions and wanting to bring in height and playing in height. We're getting to a world where there's more and more units that are going to be off the tabletop, and for all reasons, I think that's super, super cool. So, yeah, I just think
even if you're chucking range 2, like Sabine with Gunslinger, take off, leave this Darksaber alone. Sabine at range 2 with Darksaber. You Clan Ren at range 2. You've got Gunslinger, so you've got 1, 2. You've got Din. You've got Arsenal 2, and then you've got 3 potential weapons with Clan Ren. You could essentially hit 7 targets and put suppression on 7 different targets at range 2 with three people.
Feels real good, yeah. Jacob also pointing out that you can have 5 speed 3 units with surging red dice, so all seems really, really good. So the last of the upgrades that we had to look at here, Jace, what we'll give you your you can get hot take on this first. This is Din's Ambient rifle, 3 black. It's a melee weapon, so interesting that we have a rifle with a melee. It's Din Dejarn only, immobilize 2, suppressive. So again, bringing in that auto immobilize and suppressive back into a package for 10 points, not 17. And again, at the same exact number, although this is not exhaustive. It does come at a price, though. It is 2 actions. So you have that. That is not a typo. That is 2 actions. And if you are not engaged, perform a speed 1 move. Then choose an enemy unit in line of sight. Roll 1 red attack die. If the result is a hit or crit, the chosen unit suffers 1 wound and gains 1 suppression token. What do you think about that?
Oh, this card is insane. I think it's amazing.
Okay.
So you know how we all just talked about how great that Yoda and Palpatine are at 5 wounds?
Yeah.
Well, imagine if they just start turn 1 with 4, because that's what's going to happen. And they start turn 2 with 3, and now you will die really does nothing. And if you want to throw Yoda in for his big attacks, yeah, he's probably going to die by turn 4. But
It gets them there quicker.
Oh yeah.
Yep. What do you feel about the opportune cost, though, you know, at taking both your actions to do that?
It's interesting because it says it takes both your actions, but it also gives you a speed 1 move. So you technically still get a move action and a shoot action.
Right.
Out of it. You just get a shorter move.
Right.
But I mean, I think you just take this card because you can use the shots if you need to stay away from a force user or something, or you just take it and throw Immobilize 2 on everybody in melee.
Yeah, the Immobilize is really interesting here, especially if you're going to...
Especially since you also have lethal, so you can pierce through a save and guarantee a wound.
Yeah, well, yeah, no save at all, right? Just, yeah, straight up just take damage, but...
no, not in melee. That's only for the shots.
Oh, that's, I mean, for the shot I was referring to, yeah.
I don't think you get a mobile... Do you get Immobilize and Suppressive on the shot?
I
think that might be for the
no,
melee
I guess
weapon.
it's just, yeah, I guess you just get 1 suppression token here. Yeah, a wound and a suppression, no immobilize for that. So, yeah. I mean, immobilize, I guess, at range would be a little bit too strong. So,
yeah. And I mean,
notable.
7 out of 8 chance to hit on that shot, too. So, I mean, statistically, you actually shouldn't miss it in a game.
Yeah.
Because Mando's got, oh, sorry, he doesn't surge, so 6 out of 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, because he doesn't get Mando's surge, which is interesting. It's the first attack that doesn't actually get to use the user's surge value.
Well, interesting. It's not an attack.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things it gets around. First off, it says unit, not trooper. So if your opponent has some crazy armor, you can start plinking into that straight away almost reliably.
Right.
Yep.
But being that's not an attack, Guardian doesn't help it. Force Barrier doesn't help it. Deflect doesn't help it.
Yep.
You just
Dodges don't help
the
it.
wound.
Yep.
Right.
You just straight take the damage there, and a special token.
It's literally just an anti-force user card, is what it is.
It's also anti-strike team.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, Pally, give that info. I like this idea.
So if you run this with your own strike teams, the way this works mechanically, whenever you shoot a strike team, you can only deal a wound to the presumably one mini that you can see, which would be the leader. Then the leader teleports behind cover. You can't see it again. Because this is not an attack, you just deal a wound to the unit. The wound has to be dealt to the mini behind line of sight blocking terrain first, leaving the leader out in the open to be picked off by an actual sniper just standing there. And from everything I've seen, I don't know anybody that orders their strike teams.
Yeah.
So
it'll be sitting likely without an order. Yep.
Yep.
There's a very good chance you could just double tap a strike team right off the board.
Yep. I like it. Really, really like it. So let's have a look at his command cards, because I guess we're gonna have lots. And I see Ryan's full of hot takes in the chat here. So it'll be good. Feel free to call in at the end and rebut everything that he said, or agree with him if that's also a possibility. So okay, let's have a look at
Ryan. All I'm saying is it's a tool that you can use. You don't have to take the shot every turn.
Yeah, I think it's the opportunity is there for it. It's not on a command card either. So and
the scare factor, if your opponent brings a 200-point tank or force user to just start losing wounds.
So maybe we should ask this question: is 3 black on a surging unit with immobilize 2, and I think it was suppressive?
It was suppressive, yes.
Yeah. Is that profile minus the wall of text worth 10 points on a unit with Arsenal?
100%.
So you have that text on that 10-point weapon that also does this other thing if you can't close into melee. Oh, but I forgot. This ignores limb viz. If you have limb viz for some reason, ignores limb viz. So you're doing wounds right off the gate. Yeah, because it's not an attack.
Yeah.
But that 10-point weapon just in melee is very likely worth. The extra is pure gravy.
Yeah. So there was a question around here, like, can you shoot this into melee?
Yeah, as long as they're in line of sight.
It is not an attack, so you can hit something in melee with this because you're not attacking.
Says on there according to that. So we're just obviously we're all just going on what the card text says, reading it and applying it to the rules as they exist right now. If there's anything that comes out after, we reserve the right to stand corrected if there's something that corrects current stance. So let's just, in the interest of we have lots still to go through, let's get into the pips now. Just a full caveat on here: if the card existed on the stream, we have it. If the card did not exist and we had all the information, I just made a version of it because we are obviously a video cast. It's better to look at things than just listen to us talk about things. So just note that they are not official cards and their information is what we gleaned. Please don't take them to your local store and claim that they are in the wilds right now. They are not. They might look like a card, but they are not official. So this one is official for all intents and purposes, as was on the stream. Perhaps it's fun and perhaps slightly controversial in Whistling Birds. And I say that, and I don't mean to create any internet buzz, but it's just powerful, and perhaps this is not the way you want to see Legion go. But Whistling Birds, Din Djarin, it's a 3-pip. Only goes to Din, and during his activation, Din Djarin gains action. Choose up to 3 enemy units at range 1 and in line of sight. For each chosen unit, roll 1 white attack die for each mini in that unit. That unit suffers 1 wound for each crit, hit, and surge result. So 3 out of 8, effectively.
Best part, too, is this is an attack, so you get to attack after that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. And if you roll white dice, if you spike white dice, like I'm looking forward to this because I like spiking white dice.
Yeah, the guy who rolls 4 out of 6 crits on 6 white dice,
It's 100% average.
I'm with you there.
Yep.
The crazy thing is, this is per mini.
Yeah.
Per mini, yes.
Like,
per mini.
So if you have 2 or 3 7-man B1 units, you're rolling 21 white dice. And it also says suffers 1 wound. I do not see anywhere in there where they are rolling saves.
It's the same as his rifle. It's just a wound. They just die.
Yeah. So Michael did some math for us on this.
Well, you wouldn't be throwing 21 at one go, but you'd be throwing 777.
Yeah.
777. That's what I'm just saying. It was 21 white dice rolls you're going to make.
Yeah.
So
you're going to make on average 7 of those.
So so Michael did some math for us in the chat, and I think it came out to like 1.5 average hits into a 4-man unit, and I think it was something around like the 2.5 into
3. I think.
You
Sorry,
do you have it there?
keep going.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think it was around like 2.5. I think into the other units. So I'm just trying to scroll back here. So 3 out of 8 obviously is the damage. So into an average 4-man unit, doesn't matter about the saves because they don't have it. It's 1.5 damage. Into 6-man B1s, it's 2.25. So every single mini is about 0.375 to do damage. So obviously, as the minis in the unit increase, that's actually the increased damage potential. So it has nothing to do with the save. It's actually the bigger the unit. So poor Ewoks, they're going to be feeling this eventually when Mando gets to face them, if in fact they have the largest unit. But regardless, I think the damage potential on this, and as Jace pointed out, you still get to do your actual attack after this too. So really good. What do you guys think about the mechanic of this, though? Because this is a lot of like, and him in general, it's a lot of, I don't care about cover, I'm just doing mortal wounds.
I just wish that it had Grievous's wording of it being a ranged attack, because this is insane with it just doing the wounds.
Right. So it doesn't really matter. Well, it does have a range, right? So you do have units at range 1.
But so does Grievous's.
True. Yeah. Pally getting some sugar on stream there, trying to keep this kid friendly. So yeah, and in line of sight. So yeah,
that's the tough part. You got to get in, but you're speed 3 because you're going to stable the jetpack on him, and so then you don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this guy's going to have trouble engaging anything, and I think that's where you're going to want him to be. And the problem is the more close he is, seemingly the more dangerous he is. So he's got big potential.
More reasons to not take the child.
Yep.
Because you want to get close.
Right.
And can you imagine softening people up with this, and then engaging, and then popping over next round with Sabine's bombs,
explosions. Yep.
Yep. Explosions, good. And just popping over and wiping out the rest. So you've already softened up your big units with this, with a 3-pip, and then you're jumping over with Sabine. Bam! You've got explosions going on, and you've put Din in melee. So he's come in, done his work. Then he's gone engaged a unit. And then had his normal attack, and then he's got and then Sabine comes over with bombs, and that's a lot of damage between 2 units that you can jump with, and are fast units.
No, absolutely. Pal, you got anything to chime in on this before we go to 2-pip? Oh.
No, you're good. Mortal wounds are broken.
Says it's good. Move on.
Mortal wounds are broken. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this, Warhammer now?
That's hey. Oh, hi, dear. Shawn said it first. Like, oh god, we now have 1 unit with an upgrade card and a command card that just don't care about your defense dice.
Yep.
Not even dice, cover, dodges, situational
all
awareness.
Yeah.
So this sounds really, really good against like B1s and big units. This is also ridiculously good against clones.
Yeah.
Pally,
so,
they love your faction, don't they?
They do.
How do you also feel being the only faction that now doesn't have bounty?
To be fair, if they did give us bounty, I would probably put it in every list I make, just because slapping a Z6 behind that is the best thing you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. No, fair. All right, let's have a look at the 2-pip because we're gonna get in the hot take land if we don't press. So I like these odds as the 2-pip here. So again, just a made card, so we have something for discussion here. So this is another Din card here. Din gains an aim token, and after Din performs an attack, he may perform an attack against a different enemy. So fairly short and straightforward card text here. Basically performing an attack and then have another attack. So again,
with an aim token.
Yeah, for a guy and potentially, great weapons. He's gonna obviously have more times than not probably multiple enemies around him based on how you're gonna play him.
Yep.
Now, Pally, they did say attack, not attack action, right? So it's a free attack, and you still get your second action.
So the extra attack is an attack, not an attack action.
So it's like Son of Skywalker.
The second, like Son of Skywalker, like Gunslinger. This is essentially Gunslinger.
A Gunslinger, right? Yeah.
I don't think at present there's any way that I can think of. I'm trying to think if there's a way to give him an attack that's not an attack action, and I just can't brain one right now. What I'm curious about, and because we don't have the actual text for this, is this during his activation, or is this during the round? And the reason I wonder that is because Palpatine exists.
Well, I was going to say about the pull the strings, right? That would be another way to...
Right.
But it says after. It says
after he performs an attack.
After Din performs an attack.
So if he was pulling the strings, could he do it twice?
Yeah.
Right. And I think the answer to that lies in if this card has this round or during his activation text.
Right. So again, just based on we don't have the card, this is what we have. This is the information that we have at the time. Potentially yes, potentially no.
Yep.
But I mean, I think thinking of it as as Gunslinger is the wrong way to think about it. I would think about it as Son of Skywalker because you're throwing 5 black, which is 1 less than Luke's saber, and you go into a Force user who has burst of speed. You can shut down the burst of speed with Immobilize 2 twice.
Well, not only that, they're going to take, for sure.
And 4 suppression.
Yeah.
I guess 2 suppression because you're in melee.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it is more Son of Skywalker. It just flexibility is there because Luke doesn't have a gun.
Yep. So again, this is what we have now. So it could be, change in the future, or maybe the wording was exactly said correctly. Who knows? I mean, a few words just spoken incorrectly I'm not saying they did, but does change it the entire flavor of that. So let's have a look at the 1-pip. This is the way. Again, fairly straightforward. It goes to Din, gains 1 dodge token, and Relentless.
Good. Basic. Lets you get in there. Move along.
Put that more reasons to take that jetpack, basically.
I just read this one as your first 3 rounds. Din's 1-pip. Din's 1-pip. Din's 3-pip. Sabine's 1-pip. These are your first 3 rounds for me.
I do like how Din's cards are
with
just...
jetpack and...
Yeah, I like how Din's cards are get in fast, hit hard, hit harder.
Yep.
And then hit again.
And then hit again.
Just use some keyword that just makes you do that already.
And again, and again, and again.
Yep. I mean,
yeah. And then round 4, if Din is still alive, Din's 2-pip. And round 5, if Sabine's taken a bit of suppression, you've got Sabine's 3-pip or Sabine's 2-pip. You can either recover or you can gain dodges and aims with Sabine.
I think Din's a monster.
That's game. That's game for me.
He's a monster.
Oh yeah, Din is amazing.
Mop up with a couple of naked troopers in the background, and some ARTs, and
I don't want to say like he's the best that we've had revealed, but he seems to be a unit that is put together with a nice package of, offensive output, movement capabilities, flavorful command cards, and definitely has defense there. So
And the synergies
And
you
he's
can make going in
105
two
points.
factions.
yeah, for 105 points base. Yeah. Now that might not be your final output, and that's certainly
No, he's. Let's be real, guys. He's 120 base because you're taking the jetpack.
Yeah.
well, he's probably
Yeah,
closer
taking
to
the
that.
jetpack, yeah.
Like I think
Well,
maybe
Plus
you're
an
taking
extra weapon.
Yeah.
You're
As
gonna be
as
looking at 140.
somebody as somebody who takes arc jetpacks for 10 religiously, I would pay 5 more points for an extra speed.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
For sure. All right. Well, that is Din, and that puts us at hour 1. So let's try to get everything else through the rest here. We're doing well. We're doing well. No, we're doing all right. I mean, he in fact did have both command cards and upgrade cards, and obviously additional cards. So I don't think all of them will take near as long. But let's have a look at old and wise, I guess, Boba Fett here. So. Also, I think going to be a fan fave for sure. So, looks like he's just going to the Rebel faction, 120 points. Got a couple upgrade slots there. I think 2 training, 2 gear.
Yep.
Jump 1, Arsenal 2, Impervious as stock standard. Independent standby, interesting. We'll cycle back to that.
Also interesting, his jetpack doesn't let him jump as far as Din
Well, he's
or
old.
Sabine.
He's
or
got a few extra pounds, so he's slower. He's Sentinel. He's Sharpshooter 1, Tactical
Old age
1.
Boba.
He's got the. Let's just. I've heard everyone kind of just stumble over this. Let's just call it a gaffy stick. That's what we all refer to it as. We're fine with that. Gaffy stick. No one's gonna hold you to pronouncing it correctly. What is that? Gaddafi. So it is in melee, 3 red, 1 black. I like that. And he has a Fett's EE3 carbine, 1 to 3 black, 3 black. Sorry, Pierce 1. He's stock standard Boba stats, so 5 health, 3 courage. He has red dice, surging up to crit, down to defense, speed 2, as Jace just pointed out there, a little
so
slower.
not only can he not jump, he can't move.
I told you he's packing extra Thanksgiving weight. So there's ways to make him
He needs
faster.
to go back to the store and get a refund on this jetpack.
This suit doesn't fit him quite as he was never quite the same after that Sarlacc pit. So yeah, and that's the old and wise Boba Fett. So what do you guys think about stat card there?
I mean, a free range 3 standby every turn if you don't order him's pretty great.
Feels pretty good. Oh, and I think specified that all command cards for new Boba and old Boba will be able to be interchanged. So
Luke and Vader.
Yeah, we'll get into what we have there, but I just wanted to state that fact if we did not. So
Frizzle saying back to add some pounds there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ronan saying favorite character. Can't wait to play him. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? Sharpshooter 1, Tactical 1. Do you like Sharpshooter baked into
yes.
the card as opposed to on an upgrade, or he's not Sharpshooter 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not on much as a sharpshooter anymore because he
Yeah.
used to be sharpshooter 2.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, do you like that? It's still there. It's just in a lesser form, but Tactical's now in there as well. Do you guys like that kind of that trade off?
I do. Just because even with Sharpshooter 2,
I think it's
his dice pool was just... The problem was he had to get close, and his dice pool was just so varied.
Yep.
That you could never rely on it. It was just unreliable.
Right. I don't mind the trade off. I think Tactical 1 is good because there may be a world where you're just moving into melee, and then that tactical aim is going to be helpful in melee. And I mean, his dice pool is pretty good in melee, but if you miss on that black, it's probably going to feel good to have that reroll.
How many points is original Boba now?
I think he's similar. I think he's same.
Are they the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's discounted down to this level, which is probably the most appropriate starting point. And then I think it's important to point out the parallel here that if Din is getting stapled with the jetpack, that he's also falling into the same category. Yeah. Although I do think Din is still stronger at 120,
100%.
But yeah, that's kind of seemingly that base cost they're establishing. So.
Yeah. Did we also mention this is a Rebel only Boba?
Yeah, I mentioned that at the start, but yeah, it is Rebel only. So just pointing that out. So, and again, I kind of like.
I think it's they've kept it thematical as well. Like he's not as good as he used to be. So he's down Sharpshooter 1, but he's
tactical.
Yeah,
he's more
I think
cunning.
they've
He's
kept
got
this
standby.
Yeah.
Well, so
Yep.
here's the thing though.
Yep.
He's down a sharpshooter, but he's up a black die at range 3.
Yes.
Yes.
With potentially an aim on that shot as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying.
So-
I kind of like that trade-off to be perfectly honest. And you're still not losing that surge crit potential, so you still have that ability to spike those crits, and maybe have a possible reroll at those if you feel like you need to reroll or want to try for those. So yeah.
And
I
48
think-
was that the in the stream, was he using
Yeah.
his card, his pip card?
It
for
was an upgrade.
It was an upgrade, was it?
So Boba's supposed to be getting some upgrade weapons, similar to
Right.
like Din's
Every other
in the
Mando?
gear slot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was mention of that. So
But instead of an arsenal weapon or whatever you call it, it's in the gear slot.
Yep.
That being said, though, I think the key difference, this Boba's more of a range threat with that standby,
Mhm.
and Imperial Boba's more of a brawler at closer range. And actually, I don't know, the tactical's cool, but Imperial Boba did just get independent aim 1 or dodge 1, so it's almost a wash.
right,
Yeah.
that is true. When not ordered, right? So
Right.
yeah.
So they're very similar. This one's just a bit older and slower.
A bit older and slower, yeah. Let's have a look at the command cards just to see if those will help out old slow man Boba. Rule with respect. Boba in 2 units. While Boba Fett has a face-up order token. When a friendly unit at range 1 and in line of sight of him makes a ranged attack, add 1 black die to one of the unit's attack pools. What do you guys think about that?
DLT balls got scarier.
So this is mini fire support, but
Yep.
because it's not fire
Yeah.
support, you can still fire support with mortars
True. So you can add a pool
Or
and
Mark
add a
twos.
pool. Mark
Mark twos.
2s.
or
Yeah.
Mark 2s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has to be Mark 2s.
Yeah, because he's not Imperial Boba, so he will.
Well, no, but this works with Imperial Boba.
Oh,
Yes,
gotcha. Yes,
right.
because you can take the command
Right,
card
you
in.
can take
Yes,
the
correct.
card.
You are correct. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind this. If you adding that extra black die feels pretty good. It's kind of like what that AA5 upgrade that you can do where you can just kind of roll but this is much more consistent. Just add a black die pool add a black die to the dice pool. So I feel it's pretty good. And it's when a friendly unit at range 1, it's not ordered from the card either.
Yep.
So you're going to be adding that potentially to more than just 2 units. So
So again,
That unit doesn't have to have a face up either.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It does not have to have come from the card. So
So 6
Right.
rebel
So how many
DLTs?
times can?
you can do it as many times as long as they're at range 1.
Yeah.
So,
So you
all
can.
you have
So
yeah.
it's just that you're only adding one dice to the whole pool.
Correct. Yes.
Well, yeah, but
So-
I mean, across how many units? Like, say you just cohere a mini at range 1 of him. How many units are you adding a black die to? That could easily
Yeah.
be
Sniper teams?
like
Yeah,
6, 10 black. Oh yeah, sniper.
Op
teams, like-
Luke with a saber
Yeah.
throw?
You're likely
5 black
Mhm.
dice saber throw?
Now, the
you're likely adding half a hit each time.
yes, the important thing here for anybody who does play Rex still, nobody does. This is not
Nobody does.
Paladin
the
on a
same as
person.
Call Me Captain in that you're only adding the black die to a single attack pool, so splitting fire is not going to net you extra dice.
Extra dice. Yeah, that's important. And I think that's good that they put that clarification on there, right? It just says to one of the unit's attack pools, which does
Yep.
take care of the split fire. But no, I think it's good. I mean, the Mark II shots alone, that's pretty great. I mean, if he's hanging out at the back and you played this early because maybe you wanted to get a lot of range shots off, an FD cannon with an extra shot, or a mortar with an extra die in there, like a mortar adding a black die to a triple white pool is just effectively a more effective dice than they already have. So there's that. So mentioned here by J Rod, Bowcaster, all kinds of things I think that make this card usable.
I think too, is that the second operative command card we've gotten now that'll order 3 units? I think the other one being Sabine's.
Might be, yeah, that's
think
correct.
so, yeah.
Yep.
multi-order command cards off of operatives at this
Yep.
scale are kind of rare.
Does feel that's an important
It
point.
depends
So
if you count Operative Luke and Vader because they can take their commander.
Well, okay, not exactly because they have
pure
commander.
operatives. Yeah, it's the second one.
right. Pip 2 here, making his way in the galaxy. Boba Fett only. Boba Fett may not perform attack actions during his activation, and at the end of his activation, Boba Fett may perform an attack with only the following weapon against each enemy unit at range 1 and in line of sight. So again, kind of like that whistling bird somewhat effect. It's a little different.
It's a Grievous attack.
Yeah, it is again,
It's a
but
Grievous bomb.
and we've
It's
drawn
better
that
Grievous
parallel
attack.
before. So this one, important to note, that is a both melee and a range 1, 2 red and a black, blast, impact 1, and versatile. So it can be shot out of melee.
So it's a better Grievous bomb.
It's a better Grievous bomb. Yes.
Better dice. It has blast, so
Yeah.
Grievous still has to deal with cover. This doesn't deal with cover.
Yep.
It
You
has
are
surge to
foregoing
crit.
Surge crit.
attack actions, but you don't have to forego other actions.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, can still take an aim to fix up one of these,
yep. So just
or just double move and tactical.
I like this trade-off. I actually like this card a lot because I think this is the I mean, he's got the gaffy stick in the art. Yeah, this is the getting in and going ham, right? So on everyone and anything in range 1. So I think there was a scene from the show that was similar to this. Yeah,
Yeah.
cracking some
It's pretty good.
Stormtrooper helmets. So anything else about that? You guys like this one in general?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything that lets you do.
Just go back to
multi-attacks.
the last three pip. Operative Luke also gets a 3 activation 3 pip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. The 1 pip here, Simple Man, Boba Fett, and it just goes to 1 unit. So just important distinction here that all the other twos were
Flexibility.
straight to Boba Fett. This one is Boba Fett card, but it is 1 unit. So if Boba Fett is not issued in order with this card, Boba Fett gains Marksman this round. He also gains 1 aim token and increases his range of his ranged weapons by 1 up to a maximum of 5. If Boba Fett is issued in order with this card
Interesting.
at the start of the activation phase, a unit at range 1 of Boba Fett may perform a speed 1 move. So kind of 2 different sort of, I guess, paths here based on what you do with the order. But let's have a look at the first one there. So not issued, he gets Marksman, he gets an aim, and then he has the potential to increase his weapon up to range 5, pointing out that he only has a range 3 weapon. And back to Pally's previous point of we are anticipating getting some more weapons for him. So seemingly something that is either range 4 that can go to a 5 or some way of modifying something up to range 5. I don't think that we will be wrong in our thinking there if they're in fact including range 5 here. So
Is there going to be
It could also
Shan's
be-
weapon or something with long shot on it?
yeah, potentially yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It could also just be future proofing.
True, it could be. But yeah, again, we just know what we know, what they've said. We are expecting more weapons for Boba. But I think, I mean, Marksman gaining an aim and increasing the range, all that feels great for 1 turn. Now, keep in mind that is when you aren't issuing him an order. If he does get issued an order, then at the start of the activation phase, so doesn't have to go, it's a unit at range 1 of him can perform a speed 1 move. So certainly the second half of the card is not as, I guess, impressive to me. But it is a 1 pip that gives you effectively the equivalent of like an ambush, right? You can really issue to anyone. So
I would almost disagree with that. The first half of this is really good for just getting a very good shot off on somebody, right? Marksman's fantastic. You're probably going to be rolling almost full crits with this. But Legion is an objective-based game, and the ability to just yoink something, a speed 1 move out of nowhere, can't be underestimated.
oh, for sure, situationally,
Like-
yeah, there's all kinds of reasons why it would be good. I mean, I think his 2 pip clearing off an objective late game also seems as good. So
Just
This doesn't say trooper. This says unit.
Yep.
And there are some units with some very large bases that a speed 1 move is a long way.
For sure. Yeah. An extra bus move feels real good.
there's also things like Force users that get attacks off of a move if you bring them into combat.
I believe they need a move action for that.
Yeah, this is just a
Oh,
perform
yeah.
a speed
Yeah,
one
it's
move.
not
Yeah.
a move action.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that would just love a speed one move.
For sure.
Flats,
Yeah.
ATSTs, buses,
Yeah.
Yep.
air speeders.
Oh, there's so many. Yeah, I think the move potential is great there.
Also, this
It's-
doesn't specify if it's
or-
But
a
it's
friendly
secondary
or
to the-
enemy.
to
It
the
just says
others.
a unit.
Well, yes, but it does say may. So if you choose an opponent's unit, they may choose to not move it.
Yeah.
That
Right.
being, but again, hostage carriers, like we know what the first half of this can do. The second half, with the fact that this just orders a unit,
Yeah.
is this card is pure utility in the best of ways.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a you could
Mhm.
you could put something it doesn't have to be a friendly unit, does it? So
It's well, I was gonna say
Yeah,
though,
put-
and Jacob's going on this. It's not force push.
yeah, but I mean, if it's a unit, issued an order.
Well,
oh, sorry, no, it
but-
has to be. It is friendly because it has to be issued with an order. Sorry, I was
no.
reading the second half of that.
If Boba Fett's issued the order, you
Oh, okay,
choose a
yeah.
unit. at
So
random.
you could put an enemy unit straight out the middle.
Not
Exactly. Bring
No,
them out of
'cause
cover,
the
put it
controlling-
straight out the middle.
Your
No,
opponent would still get to choose to not move them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yes,
a may.
the word
It's a
may
may.
is in there. They may perform the move.
Fet-
So you
yeah,
can choose.
But no, it says Boba at unit
Mhm.
range, activation phase, a unit at range of one. Oh, okay, a unit at
Yeah.
range one.
Yeah,
Okay.
may.
I take it
So
back. then,
it's
yeah.
you can pick your opponent's unit, and then they can go, nah, I don't want to move it,
Nah,
because they're
right.
Not
retaining
gonna- yeah,
control of
yeah.
the option to move.
Yeah.
I like the versatility that the fact that it's still a one pip, and if you don't do the first half, you aren't really losing the ability to issue that unit with control to whatever you want. So you're not limited there. And we've seen that a lot with one pips really having a control, right? And sometimes they're not. You play the one pip not for any of the card text because you want the priority. This one here, you could do that for a multitude of reasons, both for part A, part B, and or just the one unit control. So
Mhm.
we have that. So
And real quick in regards to Ronan's question, you cannot disengage with it. Force push is special that it gets around that through text on the card. But there's a carve out in the ROG. If you're stuck in melee, you have to disengage. You have to either have disengage or withdraw to get out of it. Just a free move won't do
Yeah.
it.
all right, let's jump into perhaps one of the more flavorful ones in terms of I thought they were pretty well done. Excited for both, but let's get into talking about the IG units here, both in the form of IG-88 and IG-11. I'll go over 88 first because he's at the top here, so 110 points. Got the what do we got? The training slot, the comm slot, and the gear slot. It's armor 1. It's Empire only. Arsenal 2. Bounty, of course. They need more bounty. Impervious. Sharpshooter 1. It is an operative. It's a droid trooper, just pointing out that distinction. Red dice for saves, 5 on the health, 2 on the courage, surging up to crit. And then we get into the weapons. There's several here. IG-88's Vibro Cleaver. I like that one. Melee. It's a rainbow and Pierce 1. Also has a modified E11 blaster, so range 1 to 3, black 2 white, Pierce 1 versatile, so able to shoot out of melee. And then we have the modified DLT-20A rifle. Fantastic to have a single trooper here with a 1 to 4, 2 black, 1 white. Really like that. Quickly comparing to IG-11, so the parallels 5 points cheaper. Same upgrade slots with a programming upgrade as well. It is Empire and Rebel. Makes sense. Armor 1 Gunslinger, which is really great, like that. Makes sense as well with the spinning around and the shooty. Impervious programmed. You must equip a programming upgrade, just pointing that caveat out here. Sharpshooter 1. Overpower is just literally the name of the melee attack, which it's very powerful.
It's Chewbacca's melee. It's
Yeah.
the same name and the same dice.
Just 4 red, feels really strong. Has same modified blaster. Loses versatile on this one, keeps the pierce and range. And then the modified DLT-20A keeps all the stats there. Range 1 to 4, 2 black, 1 white. Same health pool, only surging to hit, and both are speed 2. All right, guys, open for discussion. What do we think?
I've been waiting for IG88 for so long.
Fair enough.
You and a lot of other people.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love 'em.
So what's the flavor win here? Running both of these in Empire, or running 88 and Boba Fett in Empire?
I mean, both could be flavor, but Brobots in Legion seems good if you are an X-Wing player.
I'm really disappointed that Empire doesn't allow you to take 5 IG88s because they had variants A to D.
That's also
A to E, I
stock
guess.
standard Brobots. Yeah, you could definitely have that in X-Wing. I do agree that it could be cool. Maybe there's an opportunity to have variants, and maybe that will be something down the road. Who knows? But I don't know, to answer your question, Pally. I think the ability to take both and the ability to take both with whoever you like gives you the flavor and the versatility that you might be looking for. I think both are fantastic in terms of their own versatility of having a mix of ranges, strong melees, adding bounty into the Empire. I mean, yes, they have bounty. You're only going to take so many occurrences of bounty anyway, but having one more on IG88, I don't feel is out of character at all. Armor 1 feels good. That's a nice little buff to a red dice, unit. Doesn't surge, but that Armor 1 is maybe perhaps the equivalent of rolling a surge each defense roll anyway. Impervious is great. I like that. And then having the difference between Arsenal 2 and Gunslinger between them is also interesting. So they aren't exactly the same. But I'm not sure if I like Gunslinger or Arsenal 2 better. I kind of feel like I like Gunslinger better. But
I think I like. I'm the opposite. I think I like Arsenal 2 because Gunslinger, you can essentially Gunslinger with Arsenal 2. You may not be able to do 2 4 like range 4 shots. You can't do your 2 strongers, but you can choose whether you're going to do 2 targets or you can unload everything into 1 target. Where Gunslinger, yes, you can get one. You can swap 1 black for your white, and you can do 2 range 4 shots. 2 range 4 Gunslinger shots is fantastic. But you can't pump it all into 1 unit if you're looking to do that.
I just think I like Gunslinger because I don't have to mess around with range bands. Like when you get the Gunslinger attack off, it's you're already at that range band.
Yeah.
Where Arsenal 2, like because the weapons are different, then there is a potential where you do have to worry a little bit about the range bands. Not so much with a 1 to 3 and a 1 to 4, but you know what I'm getting at. Like with Gunslinger, I feel like the opportunity to get that off, if you got it off once, you get it off again. So.
I think this is one of the few cases where I think they managed to really encapsulate the flavor of the units. Right. IG88 just going all in on 1 target with everything he's got, or IG11 with that iconic scene where he's just spinning and whirling and twirling and blasting everything around him.
Yep. No, agreed.
So the flavor win is absolutely, they captured it very well.
For sure.
Yep. And is there going to be anything else available to him in his slots? That would be my question. I would doubt it with the mini and thematically. I would doubt it, unless he.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if there are extra weapons.
Unless they have a 30-point E-web or something silly like that.
I think
because we need more E-webs for Shawn.
I think I dropped a sound clip in, Pally. Just reference that scene you're talking about too. That's about right. I love that scene when Mando just gets just railed into the barrels afterwards. So, but that's exactly that. That spinning around, shooting, walking, just shoots upright. The guy falls from the rooftop. So, I think I think having the show out for me when I heard and saw the units, I just really start to think back to those cinematic moments and just start envisioning that in the game. So. I think I'm excited to try both together, both individual, both in different factions. Like, I think there's a world there for sure. So, but they're flavorful enough for me to want to include them almost every time, to be perfectly honest. And I like the versatility that they have. So they just seem to be better. Well, IG just seems to be better bounty hunter, to be honest. The double tapping or pooling up the dice at range 4, I should say. Feels really good, but you're not found wanting as he gets closer into other units. So, we did. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say a range 4 bounty hunter. That's
Yeah.
That you can take with
that
another one in boss.
screams.
Yeah, well, and
Yep.
just having armor and red dice saves just feels like a little bit more of a healthier bounty hunter. So,
Yep.
We do have one
Exactly.
of the programming cards here. I think they mentioned Pally. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there is one others that we did not get.
So, yeah, there's another one. For some reason, I feel like they told us some of the text on it, but in my multiple times of running through the footage, I just either couldn't find it or kept skipping. I don't know.
I just feel like
feel
they said
like they
something
told
about
us, but I just
more offensive. I think that is what they had maybe
Mhm.
mentioned, but I could be wrong on
Well,
that. But
the
the
two
one,
personalities.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
two
fair.
personalities.
Right.
One's a bounty hunter, and one's a nanny. So
Maybe the other one gives
I'm
him
guessing
bounty.
that
Potential.
I'm guessing the other one's going to give him bounty. Instead of counterpart with Grogu, he's going to get bounty, and then I'm not sure what else, but I would say it's going to add bounty.
Right. Well, this is the one we do have nanny programming, so it seems pretty fitting. Again, flavorful. IG-11 only, Rebels only. While building an army, Grogu gains counterpart IG-11. IG-11 gains AI, dodge, move. So,
Mhm.
and
0
again,
points.
0 points exactly. So, and it's a must equip, which is great, in the sense that it's 0 points. So it's not a must equip and then costs you points, and then will gain dodge move. So perhaps you're ordering IG, perhaps not, but I think a dodge move
because
is an okay one. I'm okay
So,
with that.
does anybody actually want to still take Grogu with him?
Yeah, probably not.
okay, hold on.
Yeah.
If I'm not taking Grogu with the unit that has bounty and an ability to gain a victory point, why would I take Grogu with a unit that cannot give me an extra victory point?
Yeah, I come back to I'm not taking Grogu, so that's where I'm at.
However,
Yep.
for a 0 point upgrade, if I have to take one, I guess it's not terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
I was just seeing if anybody actually was like, oh, maybe I'll take Grogu here, or it's just no Grogu at all.
Yeah, probably just
I'm
not.
curious.
Can you see you've got if you've got Mando and Grogu? Oh no, sorry. I was
Grogu
going
didn't
somewhere
get
else with that, but
But you can't take two
answer
of
my
them.
question ahead.
Well, let's get into the command
I was
cards
thinking
here.
teamwork instead of Graham counterpart.
Right. So again, not an official card here, but this is the 2-pip, one of the 2-pips that we have. We did get 3 of them, 3
And I think
cards
they
total.
said there were 5.
5 total in the box set. Yes, correct. So a killing machine, a machine made for killing. It's IG-11 or IG-88. So obviously you issue to one or the other, and it's one or the other. So if you had both, it's not both. I still think it's just to one, if I'm reading that correctly. But until the end of the round, the nominated IG unit gains 1 aim token, demoralize 3, and steady. Demoralize 3 is good.
That's nasty. And steady.
Yeah.
Steady with Gunslinger.
Yeah. Because
Arsenal.
Because it demoralizes after you rally, then you can assign tokens. So then if you were to still shoot a unit, you could put a unit at 4 suppression immediately after this activation, or it could be on 4 suppression, assuming you hit it.
I don't think demoralize has to go on just one unit either.
No, I think it's
you could
you could spread it around.
up.
No, I was getting to the point that you could.
What?
I think you can put up to 3 onto singles.
So like Inspire, you get that many suppression tokens, you get to pick where they go.
Right. But I'm just saying, putting 4 onto a unit with a courage 2 potentially could cause a panic. So, Frizzle pointing out the exact same exactly what I've been saying about the demoralized army is triggering or removing those standbys after an activation. Absolutely handing those out. It is only range 1 to 2, and it is from a single base. But still, that's better than nothing. And if that's where he's living, if that's where you have your IG-11 unit, then potentially you're in your prime territory. So
3 suppression at a time, if we've seen Vader's 3-pip, is really good. It's granted it's not to an entire army, but 3 suppression where you need it
situationally
will do work.
Situational legion is important legion to have consideration for. So the big splashy stuff is generally good, but I feel like big splashy plays that affect a lot generally have diluted effects, but very seldom is a unit going to take 3 to 4 suppression and that not actually cost them something that round.
Yeah. Can you imagine topping over Operative Luke or or stopping Sabine from doing explosions effectively, or
Yep.
something like that.
Yep.
Just
Great
by
counterplay.
using.
Mhm.
Yep.
Now it is a 2-pip, so potentially there is going to be potential play around that if that is something. But
Yep.
again, it may not be a direct counter to something like a splashy 1-pip play, but it could be much more situational, like panicking a unit, making a unit drop a box, something like that.
Yep.
So a little bit of utility here. Not saying it's going to be great or use it all the time, but they said the nominated unit gains these effects. So if for some reason you have both the IG models, you can nominate the unit that you want to get the effect and issue the order to the other one if you need that for some reason. That is possible.
Sounds like you can, yeah.
So
No, for sure. That's a good
just
valid point.
again, it's a very niche thing, but I like when they leave stuff open ended enough that in that edge case where I need that ability, I can do that.
I think there's a general versatility that we're seeing in these command cards, to be perfectly honest, where they're a little less like niche based, right? It's like Boba Fett's cards. Only Boba Fett gets the effects. Only Boba Fett gets the orders. Only, where I'm going with that kind of thing. So, yeah, see, Donnie, feel better. This next one's independent programming, IG88, permanent. Just at the end of the show, Pally, if you could break down the definition and define permanent for Ryan, that would be beneficial. Each time an IG88 unit issues himself an order, or each time IG88 issues himself an order, he gains 1 aim token, and IG88 gains independent dodge 1. So maybe an early play 2-pip where you're powering up. We've seen this sort of powering up effect with several other units in the game. But getting an aim and a dodge, getting an aim token when he gets it, and when he does not, having that independent dodge is also nice. So,
Shawn, I think we need to go back to that first 2-pip for one quick second.
Okay,
for
sure.
Demoralize.
Okay.
Because Jacob pointed something out of how Demoralize works in the RRG.
Okay.
You add the total of. Oh, never mind. Yeah, Jacob.
It's total.
Yeah. It's up to X.
Yeah, up to X. Yeah,
suppression.
Right? That's how we had it.
Yeah, Jason was saying it's X2 every unit at range 1 to 2, but it's just.
Oh no, it's up to X. Yeah, for sure. It does stack though. But I don't. So important fact to point out. So yes, that is a constant thing now. It's a permanent thing actually, Ryan. That we have that clarification for you. So yeah. So what do you guys think about this one here? Again, 2-pip. It's only 88. He's got both an effect when he issues as well as when he does not.
It's notable that all of the wording that we have is verbatim what they said. So it could be different on the card.
Correct.
So we just went through the utility and the versatility that we're getting on some of these command cards. This is almost the opposite. And the reason for that is this is not aim 1, which is what shore troopers have. In order to get the aim, IG88 has to issue the order to himself. So if you have the Allies of Convenience on a commander,
or just another generic card,
but that's the thing. Yeah, if you have a commander or somebody else issuing an IG88 an order, he does not get that aim token. He has to give the order to himself as per the wording that they said.
Right.
Yeah. Until they just change it and give him aim 1.
Right. And if that's the case, it's fine. But again, like I said, everything I wrote down was verbatim what they said. So text as they spoke it, the only way to get the aim is IG has to order himself.
Right. Nope, that's important. The 1-pip focused on the kill, IG88, permanent while attacking a unit marked as bounty. That unit cannot spend tokens. If IG88 would suffer wounds greater than or equal to its wound total, so basically die, he is not defeated until until the start of the end phase. So basically gets to live out the turn, can't delete the act before he goes, which is great. I mean, you get that off for sure. So I guess and it's a 1-pip as well. So it doesn't really matter that it's a 1-pip. I mean, for effect, it doesn't matter when he goes in the turn. But I do like the first part of this where he shuts down the bounty's ability to spend tokens. That can be
That is
very, very big.
Goodbye
scary.
deflect.
Yeah. See, for me, this card right here, because typically with bounty, I'm oftentimes seeing or want to put it on a weak unit. So you have a force user, well, I'm going to go to your generic commander if you have one. If you've got a named character, I'm probably going to go to someone who I think I can get at, and likely it's not going to be your powerhouse unit. I think there's a world where potentially, if I'm taking IG-88, I might want to start focusing down on your powerhouse unit for a multitude of reasons. This being very much one of them. The ability to shut down tokens, because the ability to shut down tokens while attacking a unit marked as, that unit cannot spend tokens. Now, here's my question. Does that mean only attacked by IG or all?
I would say it's just IG, because it's a permanent addition to him, and it's saying while attacking a unit marked on the bounty.
Just wanted to get that clarification out because go ahead.
I say otherwise you would play this turn 1 pick Yoda.
For sure you would. For sure you would. Yeah, but I'm just saying, you know, if you want to
needs them anymore.
Now, that being said, this still, because it's permanent, could be a good turn 1 play to just start hitting a unit.
So here's Ryan in chat who, and this was my point, where people may read that and apply it, because he says it applies to all.
Again, also remember, though, this is what they said, not what's actually on the card. Their ability to remember the card and read the card are going to be very different.
Yeah. So, going, Ryan.
Yeah, the bounty might be stuck to someone, but the attacking, you're attacking.
Yeah. This doesn't care who assigned the bounty to that unit. It just cares that they are marked as a bounty. Because this is a permanent upgrade for IG-88, like Brian said, I would assume, and again, I can make assumptions right now because we don't have the actual card,
and
that
I'm
this
sure
is
the
an
actual
IG
card,
only ability.
I'm sure the actual card's probably going to say while attacking, or while IG-88 is attacking. A unit with the bounty, right? They're going to throw his name in there.
You would like to think that, but let's have a look at a couple of the pictures later on down track.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes,
fair enough.
That is fine. However, the command cards have actually been pretty good. It's mostly the unit cards that have had some issues.
The second half of this card too, the part where he just doesn't die till the end phase, makes me want to just staple E-stims to him, so I can almost cheat death for 2 rounds.
Yeah, because he doesn't take the final wounds until the second part of the second activation. Yeah.
So if you're about to just die, put it on E-stims, survive, and then you get an entire another round of living.
That's a very good, very valid point. Yep. No, for sure. I like it. Okay, well we'll get into that debate after, but let's keep pressing here. So we got to rip through Ewoks, Dark Troopers, Moff, Ahsoka, Endor, Tempest, all this other stuff. So, all right.
I have to ask, Brian, do these look familiar to anything you have in the area?
Are you talking about drop bears? Yes, drop bears.
I thought they were just hobbits in fur coats.
Oh, drop bears are lethal.
I thought they were
angry drop bears.
Yeah, I thought they were Australians' favorite friends, the emus.
Wonder the emus. Emus.
All right.
I mean, you're the only one to lose a war to a bird.
It's not double O.
Let's continue.
All right, continue.
All right, let's get into the points that we know. We're not going to spend a long time on this, but for transparency and completeness, this is where we're at. So both melee and ranged unit
Emus
options.
taste nice, by the way.
What's that say?
Sorry, emus taste nice, by the way.
Okay, fair enough. Just Australians, they eat everything. Both melee and ranged options are going to be available. We know that there's going to be a heavy upgrade that's an axed wielder. Like I think he's right at the top there, that ginormous stone axe. Personnel
with a tactical log.
Yeah, personal upgrades. That is a trapper. We've heard a little bit about traps. And then Wicked and Long Grey are named as characters. And then I think, Pally, wasn't there a suggestion that perhaps there could be some other named characters?
They alluded to the fact that there would be several named characters. These are the only 2 that were spoken of outside of the Rebel Battle Force.
Okay.
And then they talked about potentially having more in the Rebel Battle Force. It's just a big question mark right now. These are the 2 names that we got, though.
Right. Did consider mercenaries allowing, and then the inclusion in the regular rebel list. Was there some suggestions around that?
We had heard early on that there would be Battle Force only units.
Right.
That was kind of mulled around through their streams. But this time they made a point to say they are functionally mercenaries. So they'll have that fun mercenary templated card. And that means you can take a limited number of them
up to
within a rebel army.
Fair enough.
Depends on the slot. I have a feeling, and they didn't say one way or another.
Right.
I have a feeling they're core, because the rebel command force requires commandos, which are a special force.
Right.
And these are a lot of minis. So I have a hankering they're core, but I don't have anything to back.
How big do you guys think the Ewok units are going to go? My prediction is 9.
6.
You think 6?
9.
I think up to. I think up
to droids.
Oh, like including heavy upgrades.
Yeah.
Including.
I'd say 8.
7, possibly 8.
Fun. They said that this was one of the biggest units that will be in the game.
Yes.
Now, normally, I would suggest 7 plus with a heavy and a personnel upgrade.
Yeah.
But we just got stormtroopers with 2 heavy upgrades.
With 2, that's I was kind of thinking we might see some two-man teams.
I'd say looking ahead, we got dark troopers with 2 heavy and a personnel upgrade. So I mean, at this point in the game, anything could go.
That seems like a lot of minis.
Yeah. I'm going in line with the droids, with the B1s. I reckon they'll have a base of 6, and then you will get a heavy and possibly a heavy and an extra. So I reckon that they'll hit in line with the B1s. I don't think they'll go too far, because if they go too far with them, I reckon they instead of having too many in a unit, they might be a cheaper option if they're a weak unit.
Oh, I think they're going to be stone cheap.
They might, they might not be so weak, but yeah, I reckon they're going to be.
But hey, increasing model count and mortal wounds. What game are we sounding like?
Yeah, like I said, whistling birds and Ewoks. That seems to be deadly.
And
yeah,
sub faction specific list building.
Yeah.
Well, we already know that Mando. We know Mando didn't like Jawas.
Like B1s.
These aren't far removed from Jawas. So he already doesn't
especially
like
with some of the other bits and pieces they come with, apparently.
Right. Yeah, these tactical logs I heard are 17 pieces. That's individual grains. Yeah.
Oh no.
Just kidding. That's a hot take. We do hear some chatter about some trapper Ewoks laying traps, and so that's why I was thinking like trap teams being two person teams.
I think they said it's a personnel upgrade.
Well, no, it is the trapper is a quote unquote personnel upgrade for the unit.
Yeah, I just think a two mini personnel slot is what I was kind of hinting at. So.
So a single upgrade card that gives you 2 minis.
Yeah, that's what I'm just speculating, but I was just thinking about. I just think about trap teams and kind of how they worked. How they kind of worked. There was always kind of like 2 of them, sort of like they were buddied a lot. So I was just thinking about that. So
7 days ago, I would have called you crazy. And then Ministravaganza happened.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Yeah. So again, that's pure speculation. It's not.
What sort of traps are we going to see?
Log traps
I think
were mentioned.
Log traps. We better see giant slingshots, catapults,
heavies.
all this stuff. Yeah.
Better give me an Ewok on a glider.
Oh, Ewok gliders. Well, they did say they want to get away from flight stands. So what's that going to mean? We're gonna get what, tactical trees, and then they're gonna hang from those. Maybe I'm not 100% sure, but they did say they want to get away from flight stands. So
call me crazy, but I'd actually be in for that.
Fair enough. There's a lot of crazy going around apparently. So
give me an HMP
or
and then
a
we're good.
side mini with logs.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So they have an insatiable curiosity. That's going to be an upgrade card, it sounds like, and that allows Ewoks to steal heavy weapon upgrades from other units and destroy them, which is cool. I think they talked about them being really weak against armor. We heard that before, and really poor suppression ratings. Yeah, Jace says they were tactical trees. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a trap. Yeah, tactical trees are just
Suppression's
traps.
really supposed to hurt these guys.
Yeah, I don't know how that's
So-
exactly going to work. Like I think I heard some people chattering about like if they're going to have like no suppression, like one suppression is going to be panic for them, or I
Well,
think
Or are
that
they
we
going to
might
get
just
they're going to get double the suppression if they get hit,
I
something like that.
I think something maybe along the
Flamethrowers.
lines of maybe it's even more difficult for them to roll off suppression, perhaps.
They will have
Yeah.
suppression level of 0, so any suppression is a panic.
Yeah.
If they're at range
No.
1 of a suppression token, they're actually panicked, and it doesn't even have to be attached to them. So
And it's not the unit with the suppression token; it's
Yeah.
the token itself.
yeah,
on
that's
the
what I mean.
table.
Yeah, so strategically placing your token will now be
Yeah.
something. So
No, the
One
the
Ewok,
named
leaves, and the rest of them, everyone in range 1 gains a suppression because they. That's a chain reaction.
that's Striker. That's the insatiable curiosity there.
that
Oh,
will
so-
allow them to steal the upgrades. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think we got the
Mhm.
best unit coming up next, though.
we do. Yeah, let's move on to
Okay.
that. Let's move on.
Ooh.
Oh
move on to
no,
Dark
we,
Troopers.
we jumped
Yeah.
straight past one of the pictures.
I did.
How
Oh,
about-
sorry.
How about the picture of Stewie, the picture of Chewie in an
Oh
ATST?
yeah, we should talk
Oh
about
my
that.
God.
Well, hold on. Are we covering this now? Because this is specific to the Battle Force.
Yeah, I have the Endor
Yeah,
Battle Force
let's
still
do it.
coming
We'll
up.
come back. Come
We'll
back.
do it in the Battle Force.
Come
Okay,
back
we
to
got
that
it.
then.
We got
Right.
about 800 more screens here. Hey, it was a big episode. I'm trying to recap 3 days in one show here. So, all right. So we'll get into Dark Troopers for sure. Imperial Dark Troopers, 95 points. Yeah, there we go. All the notes from Pally. 95 points. We got 2 heavy slots, a personnel slot, and a programming slot. They are armor, and plotting is back.
It's back.
Yeah, the best keyword in the game. Plotting's back. Unconcerned. So this unit cannot benefit from cover, and miniatures in this unit cannot be repaired or restored. So we've seen units certainly not being benefit from, well, suppression cover, I should say. But this is just straight up not from cover, and you can't bring them back. So when they're gone, they're gone.
I mean, if you fully kit it out, though, that's 12 wounds.
It feels good. It's
That-
hard.
that-
It's hard
that's
to
a
get
lot
rid
of
of.
health.
Yes, and their
I
next
hear-
one is
Yeah, you've
unstoppable.
got
Red-
3 slots to
red
add
armor.
stuff.
Yeah, red armor, exactly. So unstoppable, I'll get through this. This unit is eligible to activate during the activation phase while it has 1 or fewer face down tokens. So it can have 1, but this unit may never have more than 1 face up order token. When creating your order pool, add an additional order token corresponding to the unit's rank in your order pool. So it's a really good thing that we didn't do our Friday Night Fights order tokens
Yeah, 'cause
just
now you
yet.
need 4 heavies.
Well, potentially, but maybe there might be suggestions that maybe Moff Gideon could have an entourage of
So
these
6
units.
heavy
So maybe you
tokens.
need 6 heavy tokens. So we
Oh
may
my-
be the first and only company to put out 6 heavy tokens. We won't make you buy 2 sets.
Sean, stop playing AATs. Too many.
Yeah, exactly.
Too many
The
AATs.
AATs. Or just buy 2 sets, I guess. But yeah, and just to finish off the card, they do have Crushing Punch at a red and a white in melee. They have an E11D blaster, 1-3, range 1-3 that is, with 1 black. They are red defense dice, as Pally has pointed out, and they are 2 health and no courage. So the infinite courage unit. So, and there is base 3 there, but keep in mind they can take up to 3 other minis in the unit. And we do have sort of the image down at the bottom. These things are beastly in size.
Yeah.
So what we do know
Yeah.
about it, or what was said, Gideon could take a lot of these guys. That's a direct quote, hinting at potentially entourage or some sort of similar ability. We have the heavy upgrade, the frag launcher.
Or another
Sorry, what's that?
battle force maybe.
Yeah, potentially. Yep.
Another battle force maybe. Yeah.
The frag launcher was 2 red, 1 black, range 1-2, exhaust, cycle, blast. Like they have both exhaust and cycle together. That's a good combo. I think cycle needs to just come on almost everything that's an exhaustible weapon, with the exception of the one-time use. Yeah, HH12s are that group is just. I think there's a support group for those guys just lobbying for cycle. I think every time they play. There's also the XS1V or 4, I'm not sure. Assault cannon, 4 black, range 3, 1 critical 1.
That's the one I like.
That seems really good. And then the Myrtleizer, which Pally was referencing using on his cat, I think earlier. I think is what I think he used that as a verb though. I think he said myrtleizing his cat. But the cat is safe. It's fine. Apparently it's a big sword. So there's that. So I don't think you guys can see that in the image down below there.
it doesn't really matter which one of these you like, Jace, because you can take them both.
Yeah, you can take. Well, there's 3 of them, so you can only take 2.
Well, I mean, yeah, but unless the Myrtleizer is personnel,
true.
because at this point, anything's game.
Yeah, can I just point out one
is
thing
fair.
before we get into all the greatness of this? One thing I just don't like. I'm okay with the lack of flight stands, perfectly fine with that. I just really hate that the Astro Boy boots were attached to the rocket upgrade. I would have liked it on any other mini, but I hate that it's on the rocket heavy. Just me personally. I just don't want it. I just didn't want that to be there. Only because I feel like that model already is going to be top heavy enough, and now it's going to be balancing on like a rocket thruster and be even more top heavy. So just a small gripe there, but otherwise I really like the minis. I do want to talk about the mechanics.
To cut off though.
Oh, for sure, it's getting cut off 100% for sure.
I reckon you'd be able to swap and change the torsos, and the arms and heads on these guys by the looks of it.
Yes. Again, for the people who don't like to do that stuff, if it's not just a straight arm change, then
I mean, I think that's going to be what it is. By the looks.
You think any arms can go on
where their position? I think they're gonna. Well, I would say that the top half, like the top half of the model itself, is going to be able to just be moved around with a few poses.
Potentially, yeah.
I don't think that's going to be an issue.
So let's get into the real thing before we press on here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we going to talk about the real broken thing here?
Yeah, what do you guys think about Unstoppable?
Activating twice is very nice.
By itself, it's interesting. In combination with some other stuff that I'm sure we'll go into, it's nuts.
Yeah, let's just talk about like host exchange or any sort of box grab mission.
Let's talk about rapid reinforcements or double moving with the transport.
Yep.
all seems.
Hostage.
The fact that these are heavy troopers.
They can't start with the hostage because they're a 4 unit.
Ion tokens, immobilized tokens, evaporators.
Yep.
Cycling up so you can fire that cycle weapon every turn instead of every second turn.
I mean, they can't start with the hostage chase, but they could certainly grab a hostage by threatening the hostage and killing the hostage carrier that your opponent has. So
plotting does make it interesting with them, though.
I don't think so, and here's why. They move at the same speed as snowtroopers, but they get to shoot twice.
Yes.
Yeah. But they only move speed 1, and there's no ability for them to move any faster than that.
Well, right.
Oh, no, but they've also got...
Same with snowtroopers.
Are we also just forgetting that they have armor? So they're 12 health with armor and red defense?
Yeah.
So you have to... Who cares about cover when you have to have crits, and then you still get red saves?
Let's get into that command card, and then we'll really look at the totality of this.
So we don't have a picture of the command card, though.
No, we do. I sent it to you. The Gideon's command card.
I don't think we got a copy of that.
Oh, yeah, there's
you have something I
don't. Oh, maybe I don't have the copy of that. So
I will read the card.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of it.
This card, so it's a 2-pip. You have something I want, ordered by Moff Gideon. 2 units. This card cannot be chosen during the first round. After orders have been issued, choose a friendly Imperial Dark Troopers unit that has a face-up order token. Remove that unit from the battlefield, keeping all tokens, then place it on the battlefield beyond range 2 of all enemy units, then flip their order token face down.
Yeah, I will get that command card because apparently it's not on the list of things that I have.
It's in the Discord for anyone that wants to.
Yeah, I'm grabbing it right now. It's just
be nice to Shawn. He put together a lot of stuff, and I kind of bombarded him with information.
Yeah, I think I did have this at one point, but I just don't think it got ported out. Yeah, it got.
So the nice thing is it only lets you do this with 1 Dark Trooper unit, but
that's
you get to move them That's all you need. You put it anywhere on the table.
I really think you can use this to get in. I really think you use this to get out.
Oh, 100%.
And
there we go.
The important text here is where it says keeping all tokens.
Yeah.
Hostage is a token. Bombing runs are tokens. Recover supplies are tokens. like
can we talk
objective
about like
tokens.
rapid reinforcement?
Are they
Immediately
are they
drop
tokens,
on the
or
center,
are they
grab the
objectives?
token, and
Or
turn
are they
2
objective
get out.
tokens?
Yeah, they are, and I went through and I checked all of the objective cards. They are, every single one of them says token
Says a
that can be moved
token,
around the
yep.
board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these.
because I think the clarification is objective tokens, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think I fully agree with what Pally says in the extracting play here, because it does seem like there's going to be a little bit of a slow burn to get to where you need to be. Because I think to your point, Jace, dropping in turn 2, you're still going to be sort of.
Ain't no poser. I said use it turn 2. I said rapid reinforcements onto the objective, turn 1. Grab it with your second act. Turn 2, play this, get out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Ain't no poser can't listen.
Yeah.
That's the real problem.
Now, it's just that range 2
also
from,
can't spell my name.
From all enemy units is going to be a little bit of a factor, right? So you will probably not be able to just land and run right on it if your opponent's not playing around you. But there may be a world where they are actually hesitant as to when this unit comes down, they can still put a pretty good shot into you. And so they are going to add a nice little buffer. Let's keep in mind, too, that there could be multiple, upwards of, we're guessing, 3 of these units in the game.
Yeah.
And so...
And you don't know which one is going to do this.
Right. And plotting around the tabletop when you have multiple units that are plotting around is a threat. When you have one and you can kind of fixate on that point and sort of keep your buffer around from that, that's one thing. Having multiple of these units is an entirely different calculus.
Well,
I just like to think of this, though, where it's like double ATSDs usually max out around 9 acts. Think of 11 acts.
Oh, yeah,
with
for
this.
sure.
Like, that's pretty good.
This has the same range restriction as rapid reinforcement, and people take that for the same effect.
Yep.
The difference here is when you rapid reinforce in, that unit does nothing else that round. These guys still get to do something. Because they get that second activation.
Like you said, with the extraction, you might not. You might be in round 4, and you might be up close with them, and then in round 5 you've popped this, and you've just jumped away with a VP that you just cannot get back. That you are not gonna be able to chase down and get back in 2 rounds. You just jump out on the other side of the table, bam. You're that's it. Just pack your stuff. That's
can I point?
You can also
extra VP.
Go ahead, Bally.
Go ahead, Shawn. I'll say 2 other things. You can use this to bomb drop on round 2.
Yep.
Like you can just bomb drop on round 2.
Bombing run drop round 2.
But that's all you really need. You speeder bike on round 1. These guys on round 2. Pick your 3rd round.
Yep. Well, and pointing out something else too. So we're talking about being offensive with this, but we just sat and watched, or I sat and watched the game with a few other people just yesterday, I think it was. Let's not forget that person who grabs that box and runs from you, that person that you seldom can find, you can't get to, can't reach, etc. You drop this in the back lines, and it's like, I'm gonna be getting you now. And so now this is a flushing out unit, right? This gets to the box that you were generally going to be unobtainable for you. And so you can apply pressure from both ends, right? Both the squeeze out and the press in. So it's not really just about getting your box and extracting, or getting your hostage, or getting your bomb in. This may be an insurance policy to just to add that pressure from the back line pressing forward. And we have no unit in the game that currently can do that. They can do them early, but we don't have a unit that can do this late.
I think you're going to see a heap of these.
Yeah. All right. Let's look
these
at
are just
the
going to
absolute
be that meta, the new meta coming in.
Let's look at the absolute baseline of this card at its absolute worst. It's push.
Yep.
Yeah.
And push is fantastic.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, Shawn. To end off Dark Troopers as we move on, what's better now, Dark Troopers or Magna Guard?
Magna Guard.
You heard it here first.
Magna Guarders. I still think Magna Guard are strong.
Yeah.
The versatility of Magna Guard can hit hard. Well, do you think? I think Magna Guard swinging into these guys, they're straight armor.
Yes.
Which is very good. So they are defensively better. I think the versatility, the speed, the ability of Magna Guard to get tokens and to shut down Pierce and melee, all those things. I just think Magna Guard are stronger, but I think they also fulfill different roles. But
That is
yeah.
fair.
I think
Can I
Magna
just
Guard.
counter? Sorry, go,
Magna Guard are like a scalpel. They do a thing. They do it very well, and there's some flexibility there.
Yep.
This is a Swiss Army knife.
No, this is a hammer. This is just a blunt force coming at you.
That's a tool in the Swiss Army knife, right? The amount of things that you can do, and again, this is specifically with the 2-pip and some other niche things, but the amount of utility-based options this has is insane.
Yeah.
I love how Ryan thinks Dark Troopers.
Don't get me wrong. Because I can't take Magna Guard in Empire lists, so
Yeah.
like I will definitely be playing this, and the prospects of taking the triple heavy, that is not something I've been able to say at this point in Legion. But
you look at the dice pool. If you have an extra personnel and 2 heavies, you've got what 9 black, not at range 2, 9 black, 2 reds, with
blast, critical 1,
blast, yeah, critical 1. So you've got there's no cover. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Imagine
no
getting
question.
an aim from
and then
from
do it
someone.
twice, and then do it
Does
then bang,
this
do it at the same time.
does this unit bring back aggressive tactics in Empire to give them a surge token?
Probably.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Probably. Why not? Just to say, because every save on a Dark Trooper is
It's massive.
is critical, right? Because you're not able to bring them back. That is another thing too. Just the calculus of Magna Guard. Being able to bring them back is fantastic. So,
and if you need to tar pit something, you can just take a standby because they won't ever have it stripped.
They can't strip it. Yep. No, it's all good. I like
except for special. Special strip it.
True.
Moving
on. Here's the Moff Gideon pose. A lot of people complaining about his face, but
we know nothing else about him.
I mean, he's an angry individual, so perhaps it's just a scowl. But yeah, we don't really know a lot about him, but there he is. And just have a look at him in comparison to the height of the Dark Troopers, which I think is I love this image just simply for that. So good thing they're silhouettes. They'll be applicable here because I'm pretty sure some of these Dark Troopers are like 2 times silhouette height at this having a look here. So
yeah, right. They're gonna be like Wookiees.
All right, let's press on because I don't want to go much more than 2:30 on this one. Let's get to Ahsoka. Dark Troopers. We will talk about these units exactly, and several other shows. I think what we'll do, if there's not a lot of new content, and forgive AMG if they don't have a lot in the next little bit because they gave us a lot, we'll probably pick one of these units to revisit and have a deep dive into in the subsequent weeks. So let's have a look at the Ahsoka Ventress. I think there's a sound clip for this.
Revenge is not the Jedi way.
I am no Jedi.
Only made reference to that because I believe, Pally, we did see or hear about a card for Ahsoka that will be called I Am No Jedi. And that is all we know about it. So
Everybody
we do know...
say thank you to Krabak for that.
Correct. Krabak asked the question. It was confirmed. And so that is what we know. We also know that Ahsoka is Rebels only, operative based around Fulcrum. More of a Projector, multiple other versions down the road. Pally rejoice. They will get a GAR version at some point. I think it's 2027. Asajj Ventress is a CIS operative, themed as Dooku's apprentice, encapsulating the Sith assassin. Both use, is it Jakai?
Jarkai, something like that.
Jarkai mastery. Heavy emphasis on dodge generation and usage. So again, that more Projector role. And each has 4 command cards. One of each will be a team up card. And then I think we're seeing 1 pose, and these are the poses here. Maybe we'll soft talk about this because we don't really know anything else about this. What do you guys think about the poses on these 2? And keep in mind, they're the resin.
Asajj's.
Yeah, I don't mind Asajj's.
I wish Ahsoka had
had
a
more
more
dynamic.
offensive pose.
Yeah, more dynamic pose.
Yeah.
One saber forward, 1 saber back.
Yeah, like her standard pose of where she's like got her arms swung around.
And Pally will tell you, I think
like
that's
this,
going to be the next version.
That will probably be the more teenage Ahsoka from like end of Clone Wars.
Right, I agree.
Yeah. I also
the
think
14-year-old
that
Ahsoka,
pose is in another game. It's in a computer. There's was it Disney Infinity, has that pose. So whether they're trying to keep it, so that there's something different. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But yeah, that pose is used elsewhere.
If they're planning ahead for that pose, it makes the most sense on End of Clone Wars Ahsoka, and I could see why they wouldn't want to recycle a pose across multiple models, which means you see her standing like this in Rebels, it's probably the most iconic fulcrum pose specific. So are there better poses?
Yeah.
And that's all we know about these guys. So move.
Asajj needs to lay off the starch. Way too much in the skirt.
Honestly, how many places are going to add options for it if you want to go in that direction? How many places are you going to find options or already have options available for it? So
yeah, there's definitely going to be those, but we're not expecting these for some time. So lots more information will likely come out on these units. We don't have much more. Got a couple more screens before we get to the round table. We'll end off for tonight. Hopefully you guys have been keeping up with it and appreciate all the work that Pally did to get a show ready. So this is what we know. This is for the Rebel Endor Battle Force. They'll be focused on the Ewoks of different ranks. We'll have a number of Rebel commandos. So basically the commandos will be the center of the army, which makes sense. Be required in the list, and all the main characters from Return of the Jedi will be permitted. Again, I think this same sort of statement was made around the Hoth Battle Force. I think permitted does not mean you can take every single one of them. So there may still be limitations in terms of how many you can take. It's just that they are all available, I think is
that's probably what
how that means.
I think this is more
likely
Ewok focused, but you can flavor with some heroes.
Correct. Special forces regarding how suppression affects Ewoks. Ewoks will be very harshly affected, as mentioned, by suppression, but characters will be able to help mitigate it. So those add-on things, maybe they have Inspire, or maybe they have like a rallying cry, or speaking of which, I think there was one of those. Oh yeah, there it is. That doesn't inspire a rally. I don't know what will. So I have that on a 45-minute loop that I'll just play at the end of the show. So if you guys want to stick around after we leave, you can listen to that.
For anybody that played that game mode in Star Wars Battlefront 2, you know the chills I just got.
just put it on a portable speaker next to the chess clock.
Yep, that's right. That'll definitely trigger Ryan right there. Very potent anti-infantry army, poor anti-armor. We've heard that as well. The Rebel ATST. Here you go, Brian, if you want to talk about this with Chewie. Let's point out that it's going to have incognito. You don't see me walking in this giant armor that's like about as graceful as Jace on the tabletop, knocking trees down. And it will be and will inspire and have inspire, I should say. And then there will be new unit cards for existing units, and just underneath I gotta move this slightly. What does it say there? Something about secrets. Ewok command cards, secret ingredients, and I think we don't know anything more than that about that. So what do you think, Brian? Incognito ATST with inspire.
I think it's great. Like, I think people are focusing too much on the fact that, like, people that are complaining about incognito, like, really, how long are you going to have a ATST sitting on the table
and not shoot with
incognito? Like really, it's the points that you're going to pour into this thing. Yes, fair enough. It would be great to move it into position and then blast your opponents with full health and be able to do that. But I don't think people are going to be sitting
not shoot with it would be insane.
Oh yeah, but for me, just the model that is going to be an ATST with possibly Ewoks and Chewie sitting on it, like, it's 100% worth it just putting it on the shelf.
It may just be the existing ATST model though, with a command card, or sorry,
really?
Do
you think AMG are not going to?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying
produce something.
It could be that.
Here's a model with Chewie and Ewoks, and we're gonna charge extra. So everyone that has an ATST has to buy another ATST.
No, for sure. I mean, that could be a direction. Similarly with Tempest Force, which is the opposing force, if you will.
Apparently they said it's the existing model.
Right. Oh, apparently. Okay, somebody said. There we go. And maybe that's a right now statement, or maybe that's a right now thought. That doesn't mean down the road that they might not revisit that. So who knows? Maybe they do a downed, maybe they do a wrecked ATST, another one that's got trap damage or something like that. Who knows? It could be a terrain piece. I think there's opportunity to explore all these for sure. But the Tempest Force, what we know is basically just going to be. Go ahead.
Something or it's just something as a topper.
Yeah.
Like even just a topper where you've got, instead of the ATST with the closed top, you've just got an ATST now with something that you can put on top and go, oh, Chewie and the Ewoks have stolen this one.
Maybe it's just a Chewie pilot.
Chewie and the Ewoks are on your. Yeah.
Maybe it's just a Chewie pilot you just can add to an existing guy, like you said.
Exactly.
Yeah, with this one here, Tempest Force is going to be scouts as opposed to commandos. It's going to feature scouts, speeder bikes, ATSTs, and stormtroopers, and new named ATST characters. So that could
cool stuff.
Yeah, could be some extra stuff. So again, we don't really have anything more than that. Just know that we were talking last week. Will battle forces be a direction that we go? Will we get more? I think the answer is yes.
Which is cool because they're fun.
Yeah,
4 speeder bikes. Thank you.
4 speeder bikes. Yeah. Well, I mean,
speeder bikes. Yeah.
That is a thing you can already run in Echo or Blizzard Force, right? You can run 4 speeders.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so why not run them in the jungle? That's right.
Exactly.
They live less in the jungle though. They die quicker. So what we do know is some release schedules, or rough release schedules. I shouldn't say that we know anything about release schedules because they are hard to adhere to. But Mando Wave early 2023. So I think Q2. I think we heard, or something in there.
I'm assuming early might be.
Yeah, maybe
Q1.
That might be Q1. Yeah.
Because Return of the Jedi says Q2.
Late Q2. Okay, so late
Q2.
Q2. So that's late Q2 could be Q3, and that's why I used late.
Yeah. So it's honestly probably like a March and a June, which more realistically means a May and September.
Fair enough. Pally, I wasn't quite sure of this note. Asajj Ventress, is that soon?
Okay, so I had written soon TM in brackets.
Okay.
And the definition for soon TM is any time between now and the heat death of the universe.
Okay. So it's coming. Gotcha. Okay.
That's why it says soon TM.
Okay, fair enough. So Asajj is coming sometime soon. And
Ahsoka probably with her.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometime between now and the end of the Earth, apparently. So.
Ahsoka, Fulcrum Ahsoka is Q2 of next year, coming, I think, with that Mando wave, or the Return of the Jedi wave. So it is set to come out with the rest of the Rebel stuff.
Yeah, so sometime.
25th of May, 83 was Return of the Jedi. So I'm guessing we're going to see
sometime around May.
Yeah, Striker's saying that Ventress is coming the same time as Ahsoka.
So I mean, that's just all.
Ventress is coming the same time as Gar Ahsoka.
Oh, as Gar Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Fulcrum Ahsoka before that then.
Yes, Fulcrum Ahsoka is Q2 of next year.
So that's Q2. I guess late next year, so like September to December would hopefully be these.
Right.
Asajj, Gar Ahsoka, and new Gar Commander.
Yeah, maybe. New Gar Commander could be my predictions. I'm going for Mace Windu.
I'd love Mace Windu.
Yeah, that's just my prediction. That was not said, not stated. I'm just that's my prediction.
Troopers.
Yeah, could be.
If you believe the internet, it's Cody.
Okay, well, fair enough. Yeah, I mean the internet has never been wrong.
I would just love a pack of like 4 clone commanders, right?
Yeah.
Just price it the same as your specialist packs, and just give us 4 of them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cody, Wolf, Bly, and pick another one. I want Gree, but yeah.
Well, you guys don't seem greedy at all. All right, fine. I just want Hondo. Well, why is Hondo not in this game yet?
No one cares.
Because he would be fun.
Hondo's exceptionally fun, I think, for sure. Yeah, Hondo, you pick him,
but
you never actually
Hondo,
know if he's helping you or hurting you. Like, that's the model that we need. So, Okay, well, we're going to jump into roundtable. I'm going to let Jace actually swap me seats for a minute when we get there so he can control who comes in because I need to go let my dog out because she's crying. I can hear her. But before we do that, we got to thank 2 more people. I mean, this is a shameless plug for myself, but don't forget to check out the TheTerrainStudio. You guys can go check that out. Patreon's there. And, of course, it's really just what helps me be able to do this each week for you guys. So please help support that. And thanks for coming each week. That is a form of support. So just so you know. And then we'll also want to thank Brian, who's here and who also owns and operates a business, Phoenix Games, out of Australia. So he has been gracious in donating things to all future and previous giveaways. So we want to thank him for that as well. But go check that out. Obviously, he also maintains a business, so it's important to have that. So if you guys want to go check that out, even just checking out the site is a form of support. But if you guys want to do some business with Brian, you guys can message him and or check out the website, and he will be, I'm sure, gracious in returning any of your responses that you ask. So we're going to come over here and do some first time on camera for this guy.
Made it.
So we're going to do some roundtable stuff. Pally is still here. We can take 2 people in here. We'll entertain it for a bit because I want to be cognizant of the guys, and I also want to eat supper at some point. So we'll throw the interview code in here. So just keep in mind, you'll jump in. Jace will pop you in here. We're just leaving it wide open today. So I just have the Atomic Mass Games symbol here for saying, speak about anything, any unit, what you enjoyed, what your thoughts are, hot takes, etc. We don't want to keep it up to. We don't want to talk about too much of criticism. So I'm sure we all have some things, but again, with anything, there's going to be some bumps and things like that. You can do that, but hopefully that is not the foundation of what you have as a contribution tonight. So I will throw this in here. Somebody's pinging me. Okay, Brian. So if you have to go, Brian, that's okay. So you can leave you on for a bit, and then I can just I can hot swap Matt Pally in. So, all right. So here we go. I'll throw that in there. Jace, you can take the first caller. Just gonna go let Belster out. I'll be right back.
Cool. Oh man.
He didn't
puppies
leave
are
the
excited.
phone book for you.
Yeah. And
Did
she
the
wants
chair
inside
go
the
down
bed.
or something? Or
Yes, I adjusted the chair just so you know. Oh, is this better? Oh boy. Guys, it's Ryan. Should I reject the call?
Oh.
So I said I've only got 10 minutes or so don't bring Ryan in, would you? Just no.
Oh, okay. I'll leave him in
Come
the
on,
green
Ryan.
room.
Come
he can
on
sit
in.
here in the green room.
Come on in.
All right, get him in here.
Okay. All right.
I need somebody to tell me I'm wrong about everything.
Yeah, I just have to.
Yeah. Yes or no answers, Ryan.
Oh wow, look at this. It's all me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've
You're
basically
coming, Ryan.
faded to
You're
black,
coming.
though.
It's partly you.
There we go.
There we
I
go.
love that I'm still in the background too, because
Yes.
it is all about me.
Yeah.
Oh, how's it going, buddy?
All right, Ryan, give us your hot take.
It's going. Hot takes. I think everyone is sucking a little too much on those dark troopers there.
Sure. Okay, you know what I got for that?
What?
A bigger Ryan. That's what he's got.
Nice.
Okay,
No,
Ryan,
honestly,
Ryan, you
I
got
think
10 seconds to tell us why dark troopers are bad. Go.
outside of plotting, can't heal them. You're pumping too many points into them. They don't surge offensively or defensively. If you want them to surge, again, you're pumping so many points into them, and they probably have no way to aim generate. Everyone's also talking about needing rapid reinforcements to steal objectives or playing Gideon's 2-pip. Again, that's one card. We don't know what Gideon does. Gideon's probably going to look something like Iden. Could be a little more expensive. So now I'm putting more points into that to do a one-trick pony. We also have a ton of die pools in the game still with a ton of impact and critical. I don't know why everyone's jumping all over these like, oh, they're so great. They're going to break the game. They're amazing. It's what are you doing? Like, you're just handicapping yourself into one play style.
But what generates 12 crits?
Yeah.
Times 3.
Okay. Rebels have a ton of it. Especially, I guess, if you're running Blizzard Force. Or not Blizzard Force, what is it? Echo Defenders?
Levy Rebels, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I reckon
with all the standby shenanigans.
You've got a heavy unit that you can put behind a wall. Like it's got silhouettes, so you can hide a heavy unit.
Well, no,
with,
it doesn't
big
benefit
dice
from
pool.
But you
cover,
don't
though,
get cover. That's the other thing. You don't get
Ex-
cover, so I'm
except-
getting my
except-
impact.
But I'm not
Can't
I'm not
see it.
talking about. But yeah, if you can't see it, then it's got cover.
Okay.
Compared to something that's larger, like an ATS, like your ATST or your tank. And if you lose one or two of its or 3 or 4 of its unit, then you've still got the two heavies in there. Well, sorry, you've got depending, you may have, but if you lose half your unit, you've still got a unit that can essentially hide and still be fairly defensive.
Okay, but your
output
die
a
pool drops off
fair
tremendously, though.
Yeah, but not much.
Not really.
Your first three,
it'll
your
drop
first three
off.
are 3 black dice.
Yeah.
You also
Yeah,
have
your
cycle,
first
and if you want to
half is
unload
black
everything,
dice.
it's range 2. It's
Yeah.
I still don't see a point in pumping that many points into that many.
Feel free to come
minis
on and
that,
tell Ryan
again,
that you have
We
opposing
don't
also
thoughts.
benefit-
don't know the points cost of the upgrades yet either.
Exactly,
Fair.
and that's the other thing. Like,
They-
I
yeah, they're
doubt
gonna
a
be
unit like
expensive.
this.
If each of those
Costly.
heavies are like 20 points or something, it makes it like 150 total. Yeah, sure, why not?
And it'll be severely undercosted, I think, for a unit that can activate twice.
Yep. And here's the thing.
Severely undercosted. I don't think they're going to be 20 points each, especially if they got those nice
Actually, when I
keywords
said
in
they
there.
were
They're
150,
throwing
that
that
would
many
That would
dice.
put it at 30 each, which is
Yeah.
probably pretty close to what they might be.
True,
Yeah,
but you're pumping a ton in there.
Here's the thing, though. 150 for a decked out 12 HP red safe full armor unit. I mean, you pay a lot
That
more than
doesn't
that for a
benefit
vehicle.
from cover. It doesn't benefit from
okay.
That
cover,
can shoot
and
twice.
it's speed
Mo-
1.
But-
Full-
Hold on.
But here's
full
the
armor
thing.
Most
red
Notice
tanks
saves.
don't either.
an AAT
And you
doesn't
can still
benefit from
dodge.
cover almost ever.
Yeah.
Right.
It just
And you can
doesn't.
still dodge with them.
Can,
So yeah,
but
well,
it-
and here's the
it's
other
not going to
thing.
give you anything, is it? Apart from adding,
These,
yeah, it's not going to give you anything. But
these
it's going to
guys,
reduce impact and stuff. But
these guys move the same speed every round as snowtroopers, and everybody knows flamers get in. Like, flamers get in.
There's also
not
some
all the
deployments that
time.
it's very easy to get into range too.
Well, let's just keep
Yeah.
in mind that Mark II's move at speed 1, and you still find range bands with them.
True, but it's plotting. This is what killed E-Webs right away.
No,
Actually, no,
it's
it's-
I
plotting,
don't think it's
Actually,
gonna. I don't think it's
yeah.
your objective scoring unit.
but it's not plotting. But it's not, because
It goes twice.
the only reason it has plotting is so
what?
you can't move 4 times around.
Yeah.
It
I get
moves-
that.
It
But
moves 8
maybe
inches around.
they put plotting in there first and then put in the double activation. I think
doubt
that's
it.
why it's in there. I bet the
doesn't
double
matter.
activation is in there if they're going thematic and they know plotting already killed one unit and they had to kill the keyword.
Whatever the reason it's in there, whatever the order it's in there, it doesn't matter. They're both there.
I just think that they can't have the double activation and have the ability to have it move 4 times.
Yeah.
Right.
So
no,
I'm
no.
fine to
Too much.
accept the plotting
Mhm.
because I think that is the only governing mechanism without
See-
introducing some other weird mechanic in the game.
I think that's the other thing everyone's looking too much at, though, is that double activation. It's the only unit that can activate twice. Okay, and
But it
Like
has
that-
9 black dice and 2 red and blast and cycle and
Yeah.
critical.
if it gets to range 2 of me.
Here's
It
So
can be
would
to
you-
range 2. It's got a 2 pip that says it gets to range 2 of you.
Yeah, but you're also locked
you
into
got-
Gideon. Which,
If you got
again,
an
we don't
offer-
know what
These, you
Gideon
probably
does.
put Gideon anyways.
But I want to take 3 of them, so I'm probably bringing Gideon.
what's up, Bryant?
So I was gonna say, if you got an offer to put 3 extra, to add, say, another 40 points onto the ATST, and you got an offer to put 2 more on the table, would you take it?
I mean, yeah.
I think he's talking to you, Jace.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's talking to me.
Now,
Okay.
here's the other thing too.
Because
Well, go
that's
ahead.
that's essentially what you're doing. You're adding more units into your dice pool, into your order pool, into actions. You're getting 3 extra, or 2 possibly more shots into units. It's not if you're looking at it, if it was a single action, yeah, I'm 100% with you. It's single action. It's good, but it's not great. But adding that second action turns it into something that is a much bigger threat. And whether you're utilizing that as that threat, straight in your face, gives you options to do things around behind, with other units, because it's not that expensive. They are going to be expensive, but they're not that expensive compared to some of the other heavies that are around. So,
Well, and let's
I
look at
still
this
think
real
it's
quick.
going to be a
have an
problem,
upgrade
though.
They also have an
Well-
upgrade slot that we don't actually know any upgrades for it yet. So
What, the
that they don't
programmed
have
ones?
to
Yeah.
take. That they don't have to take.
that they don't have to take.
It's an
Unless
option.
if one of the heavies says it has to take it.
Okay, then you don't take that heavy.
Yeah.
But
Okay, well now your die pool just dropped off.
Right.
So which
But
one is it?
here's-
Are you running double heavy then at that case? Because I think you're looking too much at the die pool and these perfect conditions you got to hit, which are nigh
Let's-
impossible you're going to get every time.
let's
And
look at
if
this
you
in
want
another way.
rapid reinforcements, yeah, but if you want rapid reinforcements, you got to play for blue player. You're taking a massive bid again. You don't get to pick the table side,
I like how
and you
5
may
points is a
not be able to
massive
get
bid.
rapid reinforcements anyway. So you just screwed yourself out of that because you
why
decided
do
to
you
go
need
all in
rapid
on one unit.
reinforcements?
And you don't need rapid reinforcements.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Let me
You don't
let
need
me,
what's-
let me ask you
You-
a different
you
question.
Why do you
would
need
like
rapid
it
reinforcements?
It's okay.
Well, if you're playing recover, hostage,
But you also don't care about getting
Payload.
just recover.
Let me ask you a different question here. Ryan, would you pay 48 points for a full armor unit that just added an activation to your list?
no,
No.
I wouldn't.
Aren't you all about mass act pad?
Yeah, like that's literally what Ryan.
Yes, but this does not allow me to do that.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
That's exactly
And
No,
here's
it,
why.
does.
it really
Here's why.
it really doesn't. It basically turns a 9-act list into an 11-act
12 acts.
list.
Which is amazing.
Kind of. Again,
If
you're
you-
locked
let-
into one unit, and
the
if you're
big-
taking 3 of these, you're probably taking some naked stormtroopers.
Here's the thing. If you take 3 of these, you can take a 7-act list that behaves like a 10-act list.
Kind of. That's the
All right,
problem,
Ryan,
though,
your
is that
time
everything
up.
is.
We have another caller coming in. So goodbye.
Jace is actually working the buttons tonight, so just to be real clear, Dan, make sure you don't make the host mad because he'll just straight execute you tonight here. So
Look, I mean, I'm just
I told
calling in
Ryan-
to get him off, so that was my entire purpose.
I told Ryan he had 10 seconds, but no one else called in, so I have to keep giving him more time.
Oh man. Look, all I want to say to
I'm a
Ryan
bully,
is,
aren't I?
no, you're not. Look,
he is
From
a-
one
I
end,
think
you went another.
Ryan's being argumentative and playing the devil's advocate to make people think that, okay, maybe they're not the be all and end all. Personally, if I played Endor, I would love to take them because it's a heavy unit that can perform objective actions. That's the end of discussion. You know, I don't care. Oh, they cost the same as an ATST or a Gav tank. Arguably, they've got better survivability because they've got more wounds and red saves, blah, blah, blah. And they can perform objective actions. In what world is that not good? I don't care about the double activation. I don't care about what their dice pool is. I care about the fact that they're going to be the base unit is the cheapest heavy you've got access to in the Empire, and it performs objective actions. How is that not bloody good?
I mean, you can
Done.
also
That's it. Done.
you can also double tap your VAP turn 1 and just be done with it.
yeah, I want to point.
Yeah, like I said,
go ahead, Dan.
all I'm saying is it can do objective actions. Like, what more do you want?
For sure.
Like,
and to Ryan's point, he's just pointing out in chat here as well. The Ion is a thing. However, I would say that the Dark Troopers are set up to potentially be one of the best Ion mitigating droid units in the game. You shoot me on activation 1, and I have the Ion token. Fantastic. That goes away, and I go again without the Ion token. So my next activation, I actually don't have the Ion token. So they are actually timing dependent in terms of applying Ion to them, and you can't double stack, triple stack Ion hoping that that's really going to mitigate anything, because they're still going to shed that after whatever activation that is. And so... I mean,
they're still, like, regardless, yeah, I agree, they're maybe less affected than a lot of other droid units, but they're still losing in action, regardless. Like, so, I mean, dumping Ion on them is still worth it. They're losing in action.
Sorry, guys, I just got to interrupt. Yes. I've actually got to head off. For me,
thank you, Brian.
I've got kidlets and stuff to jump into.
Well,
so
Say
I'll
hello
leave it in the hands with another Australian.
Okay. Well,
that's a bad idea.
Thanks for coming, and we'll put Pally in, and we'll see you next week.
No worries, guys.
Cheers.
Have a good one.
Yeah, no, I agree, Dan. You can potentially lose. Ryan's going to call back in. You can answer that call. He can rebut.
I thought I got to ignore him now.
No, you can answer. But unlike other units where you use that Ion to shut them down from going, they potentially have the ability to. Okay, well, I'll lose an action on this first activation, but then go on my second. So now you potentially have to kind of hold your Ion weapons to just play against both those activations. And because you don't necessarily know when they're going to pull them, or perhaps your own Ion units are in your stack and you don't have full control over them, there is a potential where that Ion shuts down one activation but not two. And then even if you do put it on both activations, well, perhaps once they're positioned, because they have good positioning cards, I think, that with both the ability to take rapid reinforcements and the 2-pip, potentially they're okay with just having that shot. And because they don't benefit from, other things, they don't, all their actions aren't the same. I can't move twice, so therefore moving once is maybe all I was planning to do anyway. Or, there's all kinds of things I think that make them.
I think one last thing I want to say though is I think what Dark Troopers are going to be is a really good. Like I said, the key thing is that they can interact with objectives. They're going to be super good at offensively. I don't think they're all that special. Like I think if you wanted offensive firepower, you take an ATST. But what they will do is you're playing Kipo or something like that. There's a point on the battlefield. You dump Death Troopers, you dump the Dark Troopers on it, and it's a lot of wounds to chew through. I don't care if you've got Impact 5 or 6.
Also, if you care about plotting, they are troopers. You can just put them in a Gav tank.
Yeah. Vader can Vader's might them or something like that. Like
that too.
Gav tanks are so fun.
Oh, Ryan, are you still talking? Sorry, I just thought I heard a buzzing.
Before I got hung up on, I was going to say,
I told you had 10 seconds, and you ended up having like 10 minutes.
Ryan, let me just point this out. We didn't have enough. We weren't really successful in Patreon this month, so our minutes ran out. And
right.
So let's talk about something that's
Jedi are still a thing, though.
Real quick, move standby will get you 4 moves around if something's close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about something else besides Dark Troopers?
Yeah, you
like,
what do you got?
Yes, Din Djarin in Empire.
Yeah, Din Djarin, nice. I love Din.
Leave him at home. Yes, if you are Empire, you leave him at home because there are so many better options.
What I really like
so many better options for Empire.
Shush for a minute, Ryan. Shush. Let other people talk for a minute. Like, instead of just interrupting everyone every 10 seconds.
Sorry, Ryan. One second, Dan. Ryan, can you repeat? What did you just say about Din? The very first thing you said about
him at home.
Where we leave you.
Wow, Jace.
Okay, Ryan,
plus 10 karma points.
I just wanted to get that line.
Nice.
All right,
I-
go while you got
look,
a chance.
Din is interesting because, as they've said, this is the first model that they've made with their design philosophy. So we're seeing a shift away from what was the core mechanics of the game in terms of cover, rolling to hit, dodges, all of that sort of stuff. We're moving into a round where they're starting to open up this realm of just completely random mechanics, which I like. It's just interesting from a design perspective and what that will mean for the game in the future. It makes it exciting, I think.
I like Din. I think he's good.
Okay.
I don't have a strong opinion about him as Ryan, but Ryan, you can tell us, why are we leaving him at home?
Sorry, Ryan. It was just the perfect opportunity.
You leave him at home if you play Empire. Because Empire has access to IG-88 now, who I think is way better than IG-11. Bosk, Cad Bane, and now Boba just got a hell of a lot better.
But I think Din does something different than the rest of them.
And that is?
He's a brawler. Most of these other units are longish range shooty units. And Mando has the ability to be a longish range shooty unit. But he's got this like in your face brawler playstyle that we only really see with Imperial Boba now. So if you want to play the
Darth,
yeah, at half the price though.
yeah, but Empire's mostly as a gun line.
Right.
That's what Empire is. Why am I taking a ranged
Wait,
character?
really?
that I have to
Like,
slap
have you not
15
played the
extra
triple
points
drawback
on?
list?
I thought Empire was Vader Dues.
No,
but
I
okay.
have played the triple.
Yeah,
drawback
like
list.
I
I've
mean,
played
like
that.
triple drawbacks. It's W press W win.
I hadn't.
It's
I hadn't
nice,
thought
but
of this. I hadn't thought of this, but like Imperial Boba, Imperial Mando, and some dewbacks sounds like a really fun get in your face list.
Yeah, but the thing with dewbacks is that you don't have to make them melee or at range 2. They're that nice versatile unit to fit in that gun line or be melee because you tie them up with the Jedi. Din Djarin's not a guy who wants to go into Luke. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Everyone's looking at his disintegrator rifle, and it's, okay, cool. Spend your entire activation of probably 130-plus point unit to do one possible wound to something that you might be able to see.
Let's fight black.
With unlimited range and the speed.
It's fine.
And a speed one.
Well,
mode.
Also, I'm gonna interrupt quickly, just so you guys know, we got like just under 10 minutes left before we're going to end the stream. So if anybody else wants to call in, now is the time to get your call in.
I think with Mando and IG-88 and IG-11, like let's wait to see the rest of the command cards before we start really going, oh, these are going to be amazing. Oh, these are going to be trash. Like we just don't know enough. We can see the potential, and I love the idea of Din being a different design philosophy. I still think Bosk is probably the best bounty hunter in the game, although now the IG-88 is going to be and IG-11. Well, he's not a bounty hunter, so it doesn't count. They're now going to be impacted because he's the only one that can potentially get. He's one of the very few bounty hunters that can get his bounty at long range and not be in a position to get shot at by the entire opponent's army.
Yeah, I think you made a couple valid points there. That was what I was kind of getting at with IG-88 being, I think, as good as Bosk with potentially a little bit more survivability at range 4. So I think he is going to be a good bounty hunter and a nice punch. And even the combo of those two may be something to really be considered on the table. 2 range 4 bounty hunters that with obviously Boss being a little bit more susceptible, but he's got good command cards, the double tapping potential, and then you have the Arsenal 2 potential in IG, or not potentially, has the ability to do that. But I think again,
here's the thing though. Listen, IG-88 is a lot more survivable, and so plays that key anchor role. Whereas Bosk, you trade that survivability for the ability to throw a freight train at your
he's an opportunistic bounty hunter. But what I'm saying is, if you put the bounty token on someone and you use them in combination to like have IG poking away, and then you have the boss come out and do the reptilian rampage, finish off, you're still going to obtain that bounty token, which is the obviously the end result you're looking for. So there definitely is that. And I think Dan's other point, and that's kind of why I was saying when we're going through covering really what everyone else has already covered, we're all covering the same information. It is the only information we have at this point. So we're giving initial reactions, gut reactions, and obviously hot takes in some accounts here. But we ultimately do need to have everything sort of be more fleshed out, and then we'll start formulating our opinions, which again, we advocated for a lot. They need to be grounded in actual experiential play. They need to be real lived scenarios. I don't want to say Dark Troopers are worse or better than Magna Guard. I was put on the spot to ask, and I gave an opinion. I reserve the right to change that, but again, it has to be based in situational play, experienced both for and against them. So I don't think we can really give any of these units the stamp of approval in terms of they're going to be great at this, that, or the other thing. On paper, yes, but nobody's really played them. Maybe perhaps you play tested from the weekend, you started already, but not until they get out in the wilds are we really going to know that much about them. So all this is just take it with a grain of salt or a pound, whatever you want.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget there's going to be an RRG and a point adjustment, and lots of things are going to be coming out between now and the full release of these guys. So we may see a lot of changes and things like that. I'm also really excited for. I'm a clone player, man. I really want some changes.
No, there definitely needs to be one, but AMG has also come out and said we don't like making changes to our games. So it's will they? Will they not?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm also really excited to see what Boba Fett's gear cards are going to be, and then like having them across both versions of Boba. Like that's going to be some interesting stuff as well. Because I think they already said that his gear cards can work on both versions. It might make, the idea of having a double flamethrower Boba. You got the gear card that you can exhaust once per game, and then the command card to do it as well. Like that's starting to get, throw Boba in there and just start, taking off two whole units. That seems. I'll play them both on the same damn turn because he's got Empire Boba's got an arsenal. Actually, they both have arsenal, don't they?
So.
Yeah.
So you got.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that seems really cool. Like to jump in and flame two whole units off the board in a turn in one activation is spicy.
Yeah, it's nice. I think Rebels though, I don't think Rebels want to take Boba, just because that's a slot taken already by Sabine, and then if you don't take Sabine, I think you take Din Djarin over there. And then you take R2, get that bounty secret mission. More ways for Rebels to win. But I don't think Boba does enough for Rebels. Even with all that he has for his keywords, I still feel OG Boba is going to hit more like a truck than he will.
What I think is nice is that he's also now a bit more of a support operative, which, let's be honest, the Rebels don't have. Obviously GR have got the best support operative in the game. We got Padme, but it's nice to see some other operatives that aren't just based purely around I'm going to murderize you completely and utterly. I'm here to be an anchor. I'm here to throw a couple of good command cards that boost my allies.
I feel Sabine fits that role. Sabine fits that role pretty well with her 3-pip. Yeah, but she still can support the rest of the army there, passing out tokens, removing suppression with her 2-pip.
Her 3-pip doesn't give.
Is nice.
Her 3-pip doesn't give out tokens. It just gives it to her. No. She doesn't give tokens to special. No, it doesn't.
Commanders, special forces.
No,
she
gets a token.
She gets the tokens.
No one else gets the tokens. Only she does.
She gets the tokens. She gives to that unit. But there's.
So Ryan. Geez, Ryan. Learn your cards better, mate.
Well, if I only had players that were in my area that played Sabine.
But
Okay.
All right. Well, that's lots of good discussion, but we are approaching the 2-hour and 50-minute mark, so we are going to say goodbye to our guests, Ryan and Dan. Thank you guys for hopping in.
If I can end this real quick.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of Imperial and Rebel reveals, which is fantastic. And these are some really cool, whether you hate them or love them, the design's based and the things they're doing is interesting. it's a lot of really cool off the wall things. And for everybody out there who plays GAR and CIS, I'm excited to see what we get.
Nothing.
Like,
you get nothing.
If this is the
and you
start,
will like it.
It'll be interesting to see.
I'll say if this is the start of what they're doing, like, what are we gonna get when they've had a year or so of just designing things off the wall?
Yeah, lots to look forward to. But
60-point phase ones.
Fair enough.
That's what you get.
Hey, look, two factions have got 8 operative options. Empire and Rebels have got like 8 or 9 operative options now, and JR and CIS will just sit here and be sad.
Yeah,
as you should.
We still have Magna Guard. We're
Yeah.
all right.
that is true.
And spiders.
Yeah, it's spiders.
Yep, and spiders.
All
Okay,
right, guys, thank you.
yeah, we are going to wrap it up. Thanks to all 17 people still hanging out here with us. Good show, looking over. Hope you guys saw lots of cool stuff, and I hope you're looking forward for the rest of Legion, and we will play ourselves out.